Welcome to Lulupe. Yeah, to Lulupe. Welcome. Welcome, Dotsun. Welcome, Abubakar. Yeah. Welcome, Omolade Bukola Arungwa. I will not be able to mention your name, please. Pardon. And if I can't pronounce your name correctly, also do well to pardon me at your end. All right. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you on board. Welcome, Blossom. Welcome, Hali. Welcome, Mujib. Mujib, yeah. Welcome. Thank you for joining this call. Welcome. Welcome, Shukura. Shukura Emmanuel. Hey, there are some names here I can't pronounce. But anyway, Marshall, welcome. Jennifer, welcome. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. We're going to kick off right away. All right. So, I am Solomon. Let me quickly show my video. Let me quickly show my face. Okay. I'm on the walk though, but let me show my face and then I'll turn it off. All right. So let me show my face. Let me show my face. Okay. I believe you can see my face now. Can you see my face? All right. So this is Solomon. This is Solomon, and today I will be glad to moderate this session. All right. So ensure that everything works smoothly. All right. And trust me, like I told you earlier, it's going to be worthwhile. The time you're going to be spending here today will be worthwhile. So don't go away. If you log out, try to join in. If your network is troubling you, disturbing you, whether your village people is after you, hey, you cannot afford to just say, oh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I've given up. No. Once the network throw you off or throw you out, you have to rejoin. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so like I was saying, this is Solomon Okuchuku, and I'm glad to be moderating today's session. Don't worry, I'm very close to where I'm going, so I can get seated. But I believe you are enjoying me, right? Okay, so first of all, again, welcome and good morning, everybody. So if you can hear me very clear and loud, please can you just drop, hi on the chat box. You could drop hi, you could drop emoji, you could drop, wherever you want to drop, but ensure you are reacting. Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, again, welcome to day one of Volunteers Connect Bootcamp 2025. For the past 2 years, we've had this Volunteers Bootcamp virtual, and this year we've decided to go hybrid, right? Meaning we're going to be having the physical session tomorrow, and we're also going to be having the virtual session tomorrow as well. And today we're also it's going to be fully virtual, right? So I want you to ensure that you stay throughout this program. It promises to be engaging. Okay. Like I said, the year is wrapping up, and you can't afford to miss this kind of gathering to rub minds with volunteers like you, to hear from people who have experienced or journeyed through this path. Okay. So you don't want to miss it. Please, if you can turn on your video, you can. But make sure the background where you are or what you're putting on is decent. Your background is decent. What you are putting on is decent. Okay. And please, when it is time for you to unmute your mic, you can. And when it is not time for you to unmute, when it is time for you to unmute, yeah, we will alert you. Maybe you want to ask question or something like that. We will alert you, and also do well to mute your mic when necessary. Okay. Also do well to mute your mic. It's very important. All right. So without wasting much time, let's quickly move to the program proper. Again, I believe you can still hear me. Can you still hear me, please? You can hear me, just drop I in the chat box. Let me confirm they can still hear me. Yeah, just drop I in the chat box. Okay, great, 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 great. All right, just a second, please. A second. All right, so again, you are welcome to day one of the Volunteers Bootcamp, and it's a great pleasure to be hosting today. Um, I want to especially welcome you on behalf of Volunteers Connect. Volunteers Connect Development Hub. Volunteers Connect Development Hub is uh, an organization, yeah, an organization that is basically bridging the gap between volunteers and organizations, particularly NGOs. And so, if you are here, you are in the right place as a volunteer. And we encourage you again to pay attention to what is going to be going on today, what is going to be happening here. Every activity for today is specifically designed for you, right? So, talking about Volunteers Connect Bootcamp, Volunteers Connect Bootcamp is a yearly program, is a yearly bootcamp that was inspired out of the need to do what to equip volunteers like you and I with practical skills, knowledge, and experience. Most importantly, mentorship to help you make real impact in your community. All right. It is a program designed to bridge gap, all right, by connecting you to, you know, connect you to ensure that you are properly aligned, all right, with your passion and purpose, especially when it comes to volunteering and all. It's interesting to know that um, as a volunteer, you don't just jump anywhere to start volunteering. You must have a genuine purpose, a genuine reason why you want to volunteer. And it's also important you find the area where you want to actually specialize on. For instance, me, I've been volunteering since 2019 when I finished my secondary school, when I completed my secondary school. I started volunteering. And as I joining, it didn't take me up to a year. If I didn't take me up to 6 months, and I found where I ought to or I supposed to volunteer. All right, like the area. And if you maybe probably you know me, you will not see me in anywhere in any organization that has to do with health or organization that has to do with agriculture or something like that. You probably find me in an organization or outreach or program that has to do with education or leadership and all of that. So it's important. This program is designed to help you discover all of these areas. All right, very very um, important that you note this, that this is what Volunteers Bootcamp is designed to do for you. And on this note, I want to warmly welcome you again all to this program. And I promise you, it's going to be worthwhile. It's going to be something transforming. It's going to shift your mind, and most importantly, as you prepare for next year, it will help you to, it will serve as a guide for you to navigate 2026 when it comes to serving, willingly your time, your resources, and all of that. Okay, so again, you are welcome. and I want you to stay connected. If you network throw you out, if you're having network fluctuation and all of that, please maybe you can also decide to change your location or to um, you know try another network or whatever you can do to make sure you stay throughout this program. Please do. And also if you can still hear me. Oh,
We can hear you now.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so good morning to everyone, and welcome to Volunteers Connect Bootcamp 2025. Network has pulled out the moderator for today, that is Okuchuku Solomon, who has been speaking to you since 10 a.m. While we wait for him, please introduce yourself in the comment section. Let's know where you're joining in from, your name, your location, and your expectations. All right. Let's know where you're joining in from, your name, your expectations, and your location. Whilst we wait for Okuchuku Solomon to rejoin. Thank you. So I'm going to be looking at the comments so that we can know those that are here with us. So the comment section is open and everyone can actually use the comment section. Just type in your name, your location, and where you are joining in from. I still can't see any introduction yet in the comment section. Please let's type. Let me know where you're joining in from, your name, and your expectations. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm seeing some introductions. Humi is joining in from Abuja. Okay, Humi, you're welcome. I can see Onabule Mayowa. Mayowa, where are you joining in from? I can see Ifeoluwa Ade Tumbo from Ikorodu. Adamu Oseni from Lagos. Okay, Solomon, are you back?
Yes, please, I'm
Yes,
back. I'm
please,
back.
I'm back. Okay, please, you can continue with the introductions and the agenda. Thank you.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank
So
you.
sorry. I was locked out in the network. So I had to find a way to come back again. So please, again, welcome again, everybody. Okay, so very quickly, we're out of time already. Let yeah, thank you for the introduction, everybody. Yeah, I can see some introduction here, different people joining us from different part of the country. Wow, wow, this is good. Okay, all right. So moving on, we are going to be welcoming the founder, the pioneer, the visionary of this great movement. You know, I can tell you that Volunteers Connect Development Hub had worked with very reputable organizations. Deploying our volunteers in our community to serve in some, powerful and reputable organizations. You can find out, right? So join me as I welcome Ms. Sharma. Ms. Sharma referred to um, let's welcome her on board as she take us through the next session on this program today. If your hand is not busy, please join me to welcome her as she take us through the next agenda on this program. I do believe you can still hear me. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear
Can you
me?
still hear me? Yes, yes, I can.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
thank
you,
you.
thank you. Thank
So
you
let's
very much. So
welcome.
let's welcome Solomon. Can you hear me, Solomon?
Very loud and
Very
clear.
loud
Very
and
loud and
clear.
clear.
Very loud. Okay, great. Thank you very much. And good morning to everyone, wherever you're joining in from. For those in Nigeria, good morning. If you're joining in from other countries, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time zone. As you can see, I am very excited for the Volunteers Bootcamp Day 1. I think you should give yourself a round of applause for joining in very early and promptly at this time, because we all know that today is a weekday, and of course we are all very busy people. You know, one of the myths that I've heard whilst volunteering is that those that volunteer have enough time on their hands, right? They say they have enough time on their hands, and it means that they are jobless. But the reality is that it's not like we have enough time. It's just that we found ways of maximizing the time we have, because we all have 24 hours, right? Each and every one of us have 24 hours, no matter your gender, no matter your race, no matter your tribe, no matter your location, we all have 24 hours. But we've just found ways to maximize our time, and utilizing our potentials for the benefits of the society, and also investing in our own personal and professional development. So we're people that are ambassadors. Yes, I call volunteers in Volunteers Connect Development Hub ambassadors, because you are representatives of the organizations, you are representatives of the SDGs, you are representatives of the goals that you are passionate about, you are representatives of the organization that you are passionate about, and most importantly, you are representative of yourself. So once again, like I said, give yourself a round of applause. This is like my welcome address, and I'm going to move to the keynote address, as I've been tasked to do, to give the keynote address. And for today, the keynote address is themed mobilizing communities for action. All right, mobilizing communities for action. I am immensely honored and incredibly energized to be delivering this keynote address today as the convener of the Volunteers Connect Bootcamp 2025 and the founder of the Volunteers Connect Development Hub. Our journey and our purpose since inception in 2019, we have held fast to a foundational commitment, which is to building people and empowering young people. We are dedicated to helping every young person seize every opportunity to invest in their personal and professional development, ensuring that this growth translates into tangible, positive impact in the lives of people around you. So, just like I've just stated now, we've been in its inception since 2019, and since then, our commitment have been to bridge the gap between organizations and volunteers, right? Some of us are volunteers, some of us are owners of organizations, we are founders of organizations, we are project leads of different organizations, different projects. And you will agree with me that sometimes the problem is not that there are no opportunities, right? But the opportunities that are available, do we have the right people with the right skill sets, right, and the right mindset to take up these opportunities that are available? And then on the side of volunteers, right, the problem here is now there are opportunities. How do they locate these opportunities and know that these opportunities are for them? Our moderator mentioned something earlier. He said you can't find him everywhere, because he has already aligned himself to the missions and visions of what he's concerned about. So those things guide him. As volunteers, let me tell you one very important thing that I tell volunteers in Volunteers Connect Development Hub is that you are supposed to have your own vision and mission as an individual, because just like organizations have vision and mission, you also should have your own vision and mission. It will help you to guide you into the kind of organizations you should be volunteering with, the kind of missions you should be aligned with. And another fantastic thing that I want to talk about is the SDGs. The Sustainable Developmental Goals is a blueprint that can help anyone that is interested in volunteering or having their CSR project of their organization tailored to a particular goal to be better aligned. Because we have 17 UN SDG goals, right? Just to confirm, please let me know in the comment section. Are we aware that we have 17 United Nations Sustainable Developmental Goals? Please let me see in the comment section. Because as much as we've been talking about the SDGs, there are still a great number of people that are not even aware of what the SDGs is about, right? They're not even aware that we have 5 more years to go, which is in 2030. We are expected to have implemented most of the target indicators and metrics of the Sustainable Developmental Goals. All right, I can see in the comment section. Some people are typing that yes, they are aware of the goals. Great. And if you are not aware, this is not to call anybody out, but it's to encourage you and to inspire you to actually do more research online on what the sustainable developmental goals are. Because, like I said, it's going to help you to be better aligned as to what you should focus on. From SDG 1 to SDG 17, from the good health, mental health, and from the good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, no hunger, no poverty, peace, justice, and strong institutions. I'm just going randomly, right? There are several of them. And then partnership for goals. All of them actually talks about important goals that we are all passionate about. This bootcamp is a reflection of that commitment, of our commitment to bridging the gap, and it is our yearly event, right? This bootcamp is our yearly event that we started about 2 years ago, inspired by the growing crucial need to equip volunteers with practical skills, with actionable knowledge, and most importantly, essential mentorship. So just see these 2 days as a kind of a mentorship class, free of charge also, because we are having speakers that are experts, right? We made sure that we selected the people that are currently walking the talk. So it's not like they are trying to be or they are imagining that they are going to be, but they are currently walking the talk. They've taken steps, they've identified gaps, they've aligned with organizations, and they are also contributing their quotas. So as we progress, you're going to hear more from them through the panel session, through the different presentations that will be carried out, and then we'll get to know more about how we can better position ourselves. Again, how many of us are aware that 2026, which is next year, is the year of volunteering? Are we aware of that? 2026 is the International Year of Volunteering. And this means a lot, right, for every person who is concerned about SDGs, every person who is concerned about volunteering, every person who is maximizing their time to contribute one way or another. And what does mobilizing communities for action means? What does mobilizing communities for action mean? As I mentioned that the keynote address is themed Mobilizing Communities for Actions. When we talk about mobilizing, we are talking about more than just organizing an event. We are talking about a collective, sustained movement, right? When we talk about a community, it's not necessarily a community like villages, like cities, but the truth is, all of us here right now, gathered together today in this day one of Volunteers Connect Bootcamp, we are communities, right? Why are we communities? It's because one, we are binded, if I'll use the word binded, or we are connected in a way, because one, most of us here or all of us here are passionate about volunteering. If there's anyone who has not even started at volunteering, you are interested in volunteering. Most of us, some of us here are founders of organizations, and we're looking at how best we can take the knowledge and skills that will be gotten here to stepping down this knowledge to the volunteers that are in our organizations. We're looking at how we can better position ourselves next year so that we are creating more impact in through our volunteering, right? Our skills, our talent, our treasure, and our time. Instead of just wearing branded t-shirts and just saying I was here without actually contributing your own quota. There's something I always say when you begin to apply for opportunities, right? Fellowships, boot camps, and the rest. Through the questions that they ask, you'll be able to tell and know whether you are on the right path or not, right? They ask some questions that help to bring out if you have just been wearing t-shirts, branded t-shirts, and just occupying space, or if you have actually been helping to contribute your own quota to that particular project through your skills, to that particular community, through your ideas, through your actions that you are taking. So mobilizing communities from action is moving from awareness to engagement, from sympathy to ownership, and from individual efforts to collaborative power. It is the process of helping every person understand that they are an essential part of the solution. Each and every one of us are important stakeholders. Do not wait until when you are now given a position that you are now the president or the secretary of a particular organization before you begin to contribute to your quota. Remember, I said earlier that the people in Volunteers Connect Development Hub are actually ambassadors because they are seen as representatives of the organization wherever they find themselves. So when an organization reaches out to us, because we also help in recruiting and training volunteers for different organizations for their corporate social responsibilities, right? Their corporate social responsibility programs. When they reach out to us and they're saying, oh, we want volunteers from your organizations to do this and to do that, what we're doing is that we're making sure that we're recruiting and training these volunteers so that they represent us as a brand to these organizations, and it can in turn now make them to understand that indeed there's the importance of volunteers, there's the importance of volunteering, there's the importance of volunteerism, there's the importance of the skills that these people are bringing on board, right? And they can now find ways by which they can collaborate more and partner more to making sure that more people are being impacted through these collaborations. The urgency of our time, like I mentioned earlier, 2026 has been dedicated as the International Year of Volunteering and is a clear call for global participation, right? And as we face an even more compelling timeline, we have exactly 5 years remaining until the critical deadline of the United Nations SDGs agenda with its powerful mantra, leave no one behind. So this boot camp is essentially an action that is taken to making sure that we are not leaving anyone behind. We have different people from different states joining this boot camp that have registered to participate in this boot camp, both virtually and physically. And the idea is that we are not leaving anyone behind, both young person, both elderly ones, both corporate institutions, people that are interested in contributing their quota and impacting lives in the society. The time for passive acknowledgement is over. We are the communities, like I've mentioned earlier, and it is unequivocally time to take action. And how can we take action? One, by skilling up, right? You can take action by one, skilling up. How do you skill up? You provide by providing the practical tools to turn goodwill into good work, which is what this bootcamp is about. You need to know how to manage a project. You need to know how to secure resources. You need to know how to measure your impacts as a volunteer. That is what this bootcamp will teach you. I mentioned earlier that we have speakers that have been carefully selected from different organizations, right? From the Rotaract to the Young African Leaders Initiative, to Salty Santi Initiative, to Volunteers Plug, different organizations, White Up Global, different people with the same vision and the mission, which is to impact lives, right? To contribute our quota. And they'll be sharing from their wealth of experiences. Connect deeply. This is an opportunity to build genuine relationships and partnerships across different sectors because we have a lot of people that are joining in here. And I'm sure that there'll be time for networking later on. So it's time that you actually connect with people that are doing the great work because the truth is when you work together, we are going to be able to achieve greater impact than when we're working in silos, right? And again, this is what this bootcamp is about. It's about moving from individualism to collaboration as we move into 2026, the International Year of Volunteering. And then lastly, to lead with empathy, understanding the specific needs and the unique dynamics of your community. Your actions must be relevant, respectful, and sustainable. This Volunteers Connect Bootcamp 2025 is designed to be a general assembly for all of us. It's a general assembly for all of us. And as we also know, also December 5th is the International Volunteers Day that is celebrated every year. So this year, 2025, December 5th, we are going to be celebrating the International Day of Volunteering. This General Assembly is a dedicated space where we can discuss the future of volunteering together. We can participate actively, engage in every session, and challenge our own assumptions. So questions are allowed. We want to see more questions because I know that there are some gray areas that some of us may have. We want to see more questions. And I'm going to round up so that we can move to the next presentation. And I'm rounding up with this call to serve. And I will end with a quote that perfectly encapsulates the essence of why we are all here. And it's the quote by the great humanitarian Albert Schweitzer. He says, I do not know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who will have sought and found how to serve. So I'm going to end. Let us find our place of service, let us connect, and let us mobilize our communities. Welcome once again to day one of Volunteers Connect Bootcamp 2025. And I will now hand over to our moderator, Okuchiku Solomon. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow, 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 wow. Please let me know in the chat box. Let us know on the chat box how that keynote, addresses your mind. Yes, please let me know in the chat box. Thank you so much, Rama, for that very thoughtful and inspiring keynote address from you. Thank you so much. I want to believe every one of us were able to capture one or two things from that keynote address. Very, very important. Mobilizing communities for actions. How do you do that? She highlighted, quite a number of things. If you paid attention, you see that she had highlighted a number of things that we can do, right? That we can do to actually drive actions in our community. She, from what she said, I picked out, two things, and number one, that has to do with this, mobilizing communities for action. And in the course of her speaking, she highlighted that it is very important that we are action driven. We are action driven. She mentioned the important thing where she said, it's not just about we putting on that, t-shirt they used to give to us. How many of you remember? Anytime I want to volunteer, they will say, we promise to give you t-shirt. Branded t-shirt. That's how they used to put it. Branded t-shirt. All right. It's not just about wearing that branded t-shirt for showmanship or, take pictures and post it online. I volunteered today. I did this. No. The question is, did you truly make impact? Were there actions that you adopted or you engaged in? It has to be real impact. Real impact. It's not about showmanship. I know. She also mentioned that we have to be service oriented. Service oriented. We have to be service oriented, not position driven. It's not when they give you position, that you say, okay, I'm going to come in to lead. I'm going to come and do this. Let them give me that position first. See, leadership begins with you identifying problems and providing solutions to it. So this is very important. Mobilizing communities for action. It's important. All right. And how do we mobilize communities? According to her, she said we have to skill up.
So many people want to volunteer today, but they don't have skills. They are not competent. Zero competence, zero character. So, this very keynote, address is very important. Like I said, I believe this have addressed your mind, and as we kick off. Okay, so very quick one. If your hand is not busy again, I want you to do something for me on the chat box. What is one thing, just one thing, one, don't mention two, don't mention three. What is one thing that you've enjoyed? One thing you've enjoyed being a volunteer. What is only one thing? Only one thing. Like, please drop it on the chat box. One thing you've enjoyed being a volunteer. Just one thing. It could be exposure. It could be the connections. It could be relationship. Just one thing. Name it on the chat box. All right. Let me be reading. Let me be reading. Don't forget, this is designed for you to equip you with relevant skills. You know, relevant skills that can help you drive. Home. Uh, you know, can help you drive home what you intend to achieve as a volunteer, and not just only you as a volunteer, but also the community or the organization where you work and all of those things, right? Somebody here said, um, networking. Wow, networking, access to people, connection, quality of people I've met, soft and hard skills, powerful, profound, the fulfillment the fulfillment. Building immediate impact. Yes. Seven, what did you say? Seeing immediate impact. Yes, yes. Right. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Peace. Thank you so much, Yusuf. Thank you so much, Gloria, Favor, Adamu, Jonah, Gloria, Precious, Atiku, Atiku Daniel. Yeah, wow. Somebody said I got a job through volunteering. Yes, I've gotten a job through volunteering before. So she's not lying. All right. Somebody also said I enjoyed networking opportunities and enjoy. Yeah, that joy. That joy when you willingly serve. That joy when you willingly serve. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for responding. I can see the activeness, the participation. Thank you so much. All right. Moving on to the next agenda for today, we are going to be welcoming one of our partners. In this year's Volunteers Connect Bootcamp to come and speak to us on a very important topic. Very, very important topic. And um, if your hand is not busy again, join me. I shall welcome a representative from our partners, Volunteers Plug. Volunteers Plug. Um, who is going to be taking us through servant leadership in volunteering, servant leadership in volunteerism. So, when we are talking about volunteering, it is service. It is service. And we can see it is servant leadership. In fact, volunteering or serving is servant leadership already. So, join me as I welcome one of our facilitators today who is going to be taking us on servant leadership and volunteerism from Volunteers Plug, which is also our partners today. If your hand is not busy, please jam your hands together on the chat box and let's welcome him on the way. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are here, please, you can unmute your mic and say hi.
Hi,
Hi,
can you hear me?
yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much to the Volunteer Connect for this opportunity to be here. And I'm really glad to see I'm seeing a lot of faces, a lot of people from different parts of Nigeria. And I think we also have some YouTube audience as well. So I'm also reaching out to them as well. So permit me to share my screen.
Please go ahead.
Alright. Okay.
Okay.
So
So, um,
sorry, Mr.
sorry,
Solomon,
Mr. Solomon, you are
your mic is
your mic
on, so it's
is
kind of
on, so
echoing
it's kind
a
of
little.
echoing.
Okay, it's better now. Okay, so how many of us are so happy and glad to be here? Let me see your responses in the chat box, or emojis. Let me just see our reactions. Let me be sure that I'm not speaking to ghosts. um, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, I usually love my sessions to be very interactive and not to be, like lectures in the classroom, but to be a very interactive session. So my topic today is servant leadership in volunteering. And I have a question that I'm going to ask the house, and then that would build up into the slides that I have for us. So now imagine that we are all volunteers here. Some of us are volunteers, some of us are founders, some of us are new to volunteering. So let's say that we have an event coming up and you're so excited to be a volunteer and they say everybody should show up by 10 o'clock, right? And as the active, the one that loves to just show up and be there, you get to the venue by 9 o'clock and you see that nobody is there, chairs are empty, nothing is going on, and people are already coming in. What's the first thing that you do as a volunteer? Who would like to go first? You can drop a chat in the comments, or you can raise your hand, and we just take 2 to 3 comments around that. Do I repeat the question? Do I repeat the story? Okay, because I'm trying to check through the chat box. Okay, someone said help to set up. Okay. Do we have more responses? Do we have more responses? Only Peace that is here. So again, let me repeat the story. You have an event to start by 10, you show up by 9 o'clock, and you realize that nothing is on ground, nothing is happening, and people are already showing up for the event. What would you do? Peace said that she would help to set up. Okay. Anybody, any other response? So I said I'll reach out to the team head to let the person know the situation on ground. Okay, so I'll reach out to the team head to let the situation know. Okay. He said, okay, reach out to a higher out to give me an instruction on what to do. Okay, Amara said, take up the initiative to direct people to properly sit. Okay, while they get ready for the event, take out for lads and help out. Okay, those are very good responses. Okay, afterwards, I'll do what I can do, assisting to set up the front desk and appreciating the guests for coming. Okay, Daniel said, I'm going to put my little skills to work by lending help. I'll try to assemble the guests and assure them. These are really good and lovely responses, right? And this is simply what you have done. This little task, these little actions that all of you have all said. Taking initiative, setting up the guests, ensuring that things are in place. Calling up on the team leads to understand what to do. These are all little actions that lead us to the topic servant leadership, right? And this is about leadership in action. You don't necessarily have to have a title to lead. These small actions that you are decided to take, right, is also a form of leadership. So I'm going to the next slide. Permit me. So, like I said, leadership is basically influence and responsibility. So shaping how influence in terms of shaping how a team works through action and presence. What you have done as a volunteer, shaping, ensuring that things go through, despite the fact that nobody is on ground to handle situations. Influence, responsibility, owning outcomes, and keeping things on track. You have an event, people are not there. You are taking action. You are ensuring that things still follow through, depending when other people join in. So you do not need a title to lead, right? I know that there are so many definitions of leadership. There are different kinds of leadership, transformational, servant. There are different kinds of leadership, right? And I just want us to take this as a takeaway for today that leadership, in 2 words: influence and responsibility. Can you take responsibility and influence, influencing people to do the right thing and taking responsibility for actions and and all. Are we with me? Are you here with me? Are you here with me? Let me see an emoji and let me see a response. Right, good, 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 good. So we have talked around what leadership is. So I'm moving into, sorry, permit me. I'm having some allergies, so my voice is a bit hoarse. So, um, yes. So we've talked around leadership, and we know that, I've talked about influence, I've talked about responsibility. Now, when it comes to leadership, there are usually problems, there are challenges that a lot of us, tend to experience as volunteers and even as founders or people who run organizations. Some of these challenges include, poor or late communication, you know, um, absence during critical moments, like I just explained now. Imagine coming to an event and you don't have anyone, show up, avoiding responsibilities when challenges rise, and, focusing on just your own tasks and not the bigger picture. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, and, talking about the story, you know, personally, I've been in situations whereby, let me give a story. So we had an outreach that we were supposed to do. For those of us who are in Abuja, if you know Kuje, Kuje is a quite rural area. So we had a very deep outreach inside Kuje, and we are trying to look for volunteers, to help us do some social media work and some content creation work. And we got, some people, and they were so excited. We were so excited to have them on board. And, we were planning, doing everything. And people, guess what? On the day of the event, these people ghosted us. We tried to call them, we are trying to reach out, to no avail. So meaning that, this outreach that we're going to do, we did not have anyone that was going to help us take content to take content, help us video and do things for us. And at that point in time, it felt like, oh boy, what are we going to do? And as all of you have mentioned, taking up on what some of us have mentioned, we had to take initiative, right? Some of us had to um, take videos at occasional times. We had different departments, so we're like, okay, one person here is going to handle the pictures for this department and this department, and we had to separate ourselves. Everybody taking videos at different times, people taking pictures at different times, so that we could have content that we could use. At the end of the day, all of us as volunteers, exhibited servant leadership. We exhibited leadership at that point in time, right? I'm just building up on challenges that you can experience when, in terms of what I've written here, because we didn't have anybody to do it, everybody had to just take it up. So imagine if, we had people in our team that were not, that were just focusing on their own tasks. Waiting, consign me, consign, taking picture. Why do I have to take pictures? It will be very difficult for us to, move forward. I don't have content that is still using to today, right? So, these are some of the real challenges. So moving to the next thing I have. So I've mentioned a few here, but I would love to hear from us. What are some of the challenges you've experienced volunteering, in terms of leadership, in terms of just volunteering in general, just drop comments and, we can all rub minds in regards to that. Sorry, in regards to that. So which of these challenges have you experienced? I've mentioned, poor communication. I've mentioned, people not showing up where they need to show up. So if you have other challenges that you experience, please drop in the chat box. I would love to see our comments. I'd love to hear from us regarding that. I see Peace. I see Isaac. Please drop your comments. Let's hear from you. What kind other challenges have you experienced in leadership roles, and so that I can also address on that. Yeah, I'm not seeing any comments yet. The other volunteers not showing up. In fact, that one is like that one is to pain. It can pain, especially when a lot of work is dependent on them, and they don't show up. It's very painful. Yes, that event that happened, because I was so angry, but I just had to put it in. Yeah, miscommunication. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Miscommunication can also cause a lot of james. Um, let's say Solomon will say A, I will say B, and there's somebody else will say C, and then they'll not say, what's happening? Why are you not doing the work? Because different people are saying different things, right? Inactiveness of other volunteers. Sometimes it feels like you are begging them to exactly like maybe you come say you want to volunteer. So why are we begging you to work? You get so yeah. So poor planning and impromptu tasks can be discouraging. Yeah, you guys are easy. In fact, it seems like you people should just come and carry me and let me just be in your volunteer circle. So poor communication. I was a project lead for an initiative, one volunteer, and communication was really difficult for my teammates. It made the role really difficult. I'm really, that's something that I mentioned. I'm really sorry about that. It can be really, really frustrating. Too many coordinators on a roll. True, true, true. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Time mismanagement. Oh, in fact, let's not. I know it's a Nigerian thing that we when it comes to time, managing time for events, and people don't show up for things. It can be language barriers to the beneficiaries. That's a good one. That's a good one. So thank you so much. I think we can move to the next thing. So most of these things that we've mentioned, right, can can be minimized. So I'm not saying that servant leadership, it's the solution to all our problems, right? But I'm saying that most of these things that we've mentioned can actually be minimized, you know, if you have a servant leader, um, in your team and working with you. So I'm moving to the next slide. And um, so what exactly do servant leaders do? What do servant leaders do? Servant leaders are purpose driven, right? They understand understand how the work connects to the bigger picture of things, right? They are purpose driven. They are team collaborators. They help the team to work efficiently and work together. They are reliable. They follow through on commitments, and they have a first team mindset, right? So they characterize success, over personal recognition. So these are what servant leaders do. So a servant leader who understands the work behind the bigger picture, it'd be difficult for them to miscommunicate because they know that they have a bigger picture, they have a mission, they have a vision. Every organization has a mission and vision. So everything you do, every event, any project, any initiative, ties back to the vision, right? So being able to communicate your mission, your vision, right, to your volunteers, and even for you as a volunteer to understand the mission and vision of an organization, helps you see the bigger picture behind just doing the basic work of whatever department that you have been put into to work with. So also team collaborator, right? Somebody that collaborates with the team. If there's an issue, if there's a problem, right, to communicate, right? If something is not going well, if a volunteer is not showing up, you try to communicate, try to understand what's happening with them. Even you as a volunteer, if you notice that someone is not showing up or doing what's expected for the role, you also have to communicate with them and sure. So I'll give an example. So there was a time that I had volunteers that was with me, and I noticed that someone who was very active suddenly was not really active. Other volunteers were also trying to, reach out, and they were not really active. And some of the other volunteers were like, "Oh boy, this person don't want to do anything. She just not like she was active. We don't know why she not respond. She just wants to avoid everybody, right?" And at that point, I was like, "This is so unlike this person to behave like this." So I was like, "Okay, let me even." I noticed that messages were not going through. I decided to call. They were not picking. I was like, "Okay, let me try." I kept trying to have a conversation, and then I finally was able to get through to her. And I found out that one of the reasons why she had not really been active was because she just lost a loved one, and she was struggling with that, and every other thing that was happening. Being, how Nigeria is, if anybody who's a firstborn here knows how it is when you lose someone that is close to you, all the work and responsibilities that have to happen to you, you know. And because I was able to get through to her, and I just told her that, what, just take that break up. And and she was so grateful for the fact that I was able to give her that break to, to settle in the family matters. And I had to also explain to the team. And some people were like, oh, they didn't know that. I'm like, sometimes we think in our own space without considering, what other people might be going through, right? Sometimes some people do not deliver because they have other family issues, responsibilities, or things that are taking up their time to do certain things. Please, this does not exempt the fact that some people are just not challenged, right? But I'm just like trying to explain that, as a team collaborator, as a servant leader, right? Because of the fact that I was able to speak with this person, I was able to get her to take that break. And when she came back, she was extremely like one of our most active persons, because of the fact that we gave her that speak and that break to really settle what she had to settle. So as volunteers as well, you also have to look at it from that angle, and say, okay, as a team leader, as a volunteer, as you're working with other volunteers, if somebody is not delivering, ask questions, try to you know, um, find out what's going on. If they're having issues with the tax in particular, or if it's something else that's taking their time to do specific things. And this is what I know this is out of our topic for today, but every organization is expected to have a volunteer handbook, volunteer policy around tax deliverables, and meeting up with expectations. So that's something that you need to also look into as well, to ensure that things go well. So like I said, reliability, being reliable is important as a volunteer and as someone who also manages people, or if you're a founder on the call. And then team first mindset. Are we all with me? Are we all with me? Are we all with me? Let me see our emojis. Black flags. Okay, black flags from other volunteers. So brick flags. I'm not sure I understand your message. Wait. Okay. All right. So I'm moving on to our next slide. So I've talked around what leadership does, and so who servant leaderships are, servant leaders are. So I'm talking about what it achieves. So what does servant leadership achieve? Before we go into this, so one thing I usually like to do when I'm having sessions is that I love everyone to take screenshots of their screen, go on social media, tag at Volunteer Connect on Instagram, tag on Facebook. I believe they're also on Facebook. Share on your status. Let's know that you are here on this call. Share on your WhatsApp. This is also streaming live on this is also streaming live on YouTube as well. So please take screenshots. If you've done that, type down in the comments section, while we move into talking about the next slide I have here. So I believe Mr. Solomon can also follow up during the Q&A segment on that as well. So like I mentioned, so what does servant leadership achieve? We talk about, what does a servant leader do? So what does he achieve actually? Adaptability, right? Like if from everything I've mentioned, from teams become more adaptable, projects are on track, stronger teams, trust and unity, persistence, it keeps things moving, right? When you have someone who, thank you so much, Ajayi, for that, for sharing. Persistence. When you see somebody that is there for you, checks in, communicates with you, does things, communicates, checks in, tells you about the vision and bigger picture. Obviously, even when things are hard and very difficult, volunteering is hard. It is hard work. I know that a lot of people always dismiss it as, okay, these people are just jobless. Honestly, in fact, I think most of the roles that I've had in my over the past years that has been difficult have been volunteer roles. Sometimes they're even more difficult than paid roles because it takes a different level of mindset to do a role without getting paid. A lot of struggles that come up. Transport. Sometimes you have to spend your own personal funds to go for one. The amount of remote villages some of us have entered. The amount of transport you have to spend, personal resources, and just to ensure that you are impacting people, right? It's a lot of hard work, and it can be easier for you when you are a servant leader and you have a servant leader who is guiding through the process, someone who communicates, someone who tells you, okay, this is what we are doing, someone who encourages you, someone who cheers you on and pushes you to do better, right? So that's persistence, right? And success and mission success. So things happen even when people are not sure of what to do, right? They take initiative, they move forward, and to get things done. Thank you so much, Favor. Thank you so much, Ajay. Please, as we are speaking, like I said, you can screenshot, you can again tag at Volunteer Connect on Instagram, at Volunteer Plug on Instagram as well, so you can reach post and all that. Are we with me? Are you with me? I think I have limited time. I think this is almost my last slide. Okay, so we've talked around what leaders, servant leaders do. Sorry, permit me. I'm getting a message. All right. So I'm talking about what servant leaders do, what you can achieve. So how can you be a servant leader? Right? I've put out in 5 points. Honor your commitments. Honor your commitments. Someone mentioned here that when volunteers don't disappear, we call them ghost volunteers, right? When they would be on the group occupying space. When I don't know if anyone has experienced this. If you experience, if you don't use an emoji, you're a group of volunteers, and then everybody's on the group, and then just 3 or 4 of you are actually very active and doing the work, and then maybe something happens. Maybe there's a public post, maybe something like maybe BBC or newspaper. You now see these people come from nowhere. Yes, I am part of this organization. I don't know if anybody has seen people like that. That they claim to be volunteers, but they're just occupying space, and they're saying, oh yes, I'm part of Volunteer Connect. I've been there with them for 2 years. You never see your face. We never see your face before, and it does, I'm speaking in terms of like honoring our commitment. At Volunteer Plug and at Volunteer Connect. Mr. Solomon, you can direct them on the chat so that they can tag the correct thing. So so I'm talking about honoring commitments. See, right? If you start a volunteer role and you see that it does not fit into your personal schedule, your job, and it is very okay to go to them and say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. It is very okay, right? What is wrong is you staying there, occupying space. They're trying to reach out to you, and you just disappear on people. That's not acceptable, right? It is very okay to say, you know what, I started this because I felt that okay, I was able to be committed, and just say I can't commit to this anymore. And you can, based on policies or whatever it is that every organization has, you can let them sign an exit form. Like I said, every organization is different, and then go. Please don't occupy space when you don't have when you know that you can't commit to what it is that you have signed up for, right? And again, when it comes to commitment, there's something like I call the five Ks to volunteering. You need to also understand, if you're working a 9 to 5, please, it's important that you do not go for roles that would expect that during your 9 to 5 you would have to be on the field. I'm not there are different roles that can be flexible. If your 9 to 5 is flexible, you could try. But if your 9 to 5 is not flexible, please stick with volunteering opportunities that are weekend based, or something that are maybe in the evenings, are things that that will not interfere with your 9 to 5, not the one that you're doing 9 to 5, you're doing volunteer. Please prioritize. This sustainable economy is not easy. So we need to, prioritize our commitment, understand our priorities in terms of work and the job that we do. Then speak up early, speak up when issues arise. Not the one that, everybody is trying to, we are having an issue regarding doing something. Let's say now we are on this virtual call and I'm trying to, do some technical things around this, and in your mind you're like, oh more, this is the way eminent they do, I don't understand anything, and you just keep quiet. And then Solomon is like, okay, let me pause on this call, say please, yeah, come and do this, come and help us with the streaming of this YouTube. You will not say, okay, no problem. You now go to the back end and now mess everything up. You now come back and you now mess everything up at the back end, right? And then you now come back and I say, this thing that happened, you're not trying to like give excuses for what happened. From Solomon's end, it's like you purposely did that. If you get what I'm trying to say, from Solomon's end, it's like, oh, you purposely decided to just ruin the YouTube account, right? But if from the beginning you just say, oh, you know what, I don't know how to do this YouTube thing. Can you guide me around what exactly I should do to ensure that this thing is done properly, right? It's very important to always communicate. Communicate if you're having issues, if you're having struggles, right? If you realize that you are trying to communicate and you're not being listened to, it's red flag. It's red flag. So, but that's it. So, support needy area. So step in when the team needs help. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you have an event, nothing is happening. As a volunteer there, you step up and take up what is expected to do. Remember that stepping up to take up a task does not mean that you violate your own boundaries, right? In regards to what's expected. Because I think for us in social impact space, we are very empathetic people. And sometimes we tend to go above and beyond and end up, it's something called volunteer burnout, where you are burnt out because of volunteering. So we need to also set that boundary as well, and communicate to higher ups that is expected. So keep teams informed, right? So keep others informed and aligned on whatever it is that's happening, and then think beyond yourself, right? Think beyond the task, think beyond what you're expected to do, but think into the bigger picture of everything that we have, right? So are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? I think we're coming to the end of the conversation. We're coming to the end. This is my last slide. This is my last slide. So I see our fingers up. I see our fingers up. Thank you so much. So now the major thing is, what's going to be your commitment today? What's going to be your commitment as a volunteer? What's going to be your commitment as a new volunteer? What's going to be your commitment as someone who leads people, who leads programs, right? So out of all these things, choose one thing that you're going to strengthen this week. Are you going to improve your communication? Are you going to be more reliable? Are you going to take steps? Are you going to take initiative? Are you going to align with the mission, the vision of the organization? So please drop in a chat box, which of these things, which of these 5, even if it's outside of these 5 that you're going to take today. I'd love to hear our commitments. Drop in the comments, drop in the chat box, what you would like to commit to today. Let me see our comments, let me see our chats. Step in when there are gaps. Good. Thank you so much, Tolu. Be more reliable. Good. Thank you so much. So, Gloria, improve communication. Good, 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 good. I see the comments. I see the comments. So that will bring me to the end of this conversation. I'll keep reading the comments and okay, improving communication, communicate better, take initiative. All right. So okay, be more reliable, stay active all the way. See, as we are saying all these things, it's not about dropping it on this chat box. It's about following through, right? let's follow through with what we want to do. If it's possible, get an accountability partner within your volunteer circle, to ensure that you're able to do this and move forward. So I'll stop sharing my screen. You can contact us at the Volunteer Club. Um, you know, um, we share opportunities. We have a platform on Telegram and and all that. So I will give the floor to Solomon for Q&A and all. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Can you hear me? Please. Yeah, I love the energy. I love the energy. I love the energy. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Wow,
Yep.
wow, wow, wow. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma, for that mind-blowing session. Servant leadership in volunteering. I believe you enjoyed it. She took us through some fundamentals on how we can actually lead. I was taking notes and as well screenshotting as well, because some of those things she shared are very, very important and germane as we joining as volunteers. All right. And from all she shared, one of the things I I really want to emphasize more and also encourage you to take note more of is, how do we lead daily? That was a question. How can you lead daily? All right. And one of it is, honor commitment. Honor commitment. I've seen some volunteers in different organizations. Remember, I told you I started volunteering in 2019. Immediately, I finished my secondary school. you know and since then I've been volunteering to today, and I've served in different organizations, and I've seen volunteers who make commitment and they don't honor it. All right, I was once guilty, but the day I discovered the consequences, I amended. I make amendment, and from that day to today, trust me, any organization I work in as a volunteer, oh my god, they can't find anyone like me. Yeah, I can tell you that for free. You can't find anyone like me. I'm irreplaceable. Even though we are replaceable, but you can't see someone else like me. Yeah. I'm unique, and I bring my A game to the job. So always honor your commitment. If you make commitment, the hours, the day, the skill, the whatever you're going to bring on the table, always honor it. All right. There are benefits attached to that. Okay, so it's on this note. I want to thank you so much, Ma, for that very insightful session. I don't know, what is one thing you learned? You can drop it in the chat box. Anybody, what is one thing you are taking home? She shared a commitment we're going to make, and she also asked you to type down one commitment. What is that one thing that you learned? Only one thing. Just type it on the chat box. I'm waiting for somebody. Type it on the chat box. What is that one thing you are going home with? Let's get it. Let's get to hear it. What is it? What is it? Type it on the chat box. I'm waiting for somebody. Who is that person? Who is that person? What have you learned? What is one thing you take from this servant leadership? Please confirm that you can still hear me. Okay, okay. Because I was wondering what is going on. What is going on? All right. So thank you so much, Ma. Please also note that we'll be dropping a link on the chat box for your attendance today. So when you see that link, please do well to fill the form. It's very important, very, very important. All right, so very quickly, we'll be moving on to the next agenda on this program. Next item here. All right, please don't, like, again, if you log out and maybe your village people came with you, which I don't believe they do. What you want to do is you want to change your location, or you want to quickly switch to another network. and connect to this program. Don't miss it for anything. So we are running out of time. Is this?
Sorry, please, can I say something? I'm on battery low, so I can't be able to go further.
All right, so let's quickly move on to, I don't know if you have any questions, if any question you want to ask our facilitator that just took us through servant leadership in volunteerism. I don't know if you have any question. If you have, please, she's still here. You can, let me just give two people opportunity to do that because we're running out of time already. Do you have any question you want to ask? Maybe you want to type it or you want to unmute your mic and ask the question. You can just raise up your hand and I'll pick it. Anybody. We are moving on to the next agenda. You can't afford to miss. Haha. You cannot afford to miss it. You can't afford to miss it. You cannot afford to miss it. Anybody, any question, just raise up your hand and I will call you. I will call you. Anybody, there's nobody like that. No question. Or you can as well type it. Let me quickly read from the comment section. Somebody says, what you gain is to be more productive. Yusuf, thank you so much. Yusuf have been very engaging. Thank you. Like also Precious, Article, Olaide. Do not make commitments you cannot fulfill. Very profound. Please take this. Do not make commitments you cannot fulfill. I've learned how to serve better and have my personal vision and mission. Very important. Commitment to achieving great success, whatever capacity and volunteering. Yeah, Gloria, you have a question. You can unmute your mic and ask. Okay, so, probably you are not yet you want to speak. Okay, just a moment, please. A moment.
Hello. I think I see the question. Am I allowed to answer this question, Mr. Solomon? Okay, I think it's off. Okay. Thank you so much, Gloria, for that question. So, is it okay to stay in an organization because of loyalty? I think this question is a bit tricky. If you are, the fact that you're loyal to an organization does not necessarily mean you have to stay in the organization. You can be loyal in other ways, right? You can be loyal in terms of donating to the organization monthly, or sharing opportunities that that they have, being a part of their events from time to time, but you don't necessarily have to stay. When I mean stay in terms of like being in the organization, right? You can always support outside, being part of the organization. So what I mean is so I have had organizations that I have worked, that I started my volunteering with. I had to pause with them because I had other personal commitments and other things that I had to do. And I've not volunteered with them for almost 2-3 years, but I support them. I'm part of their events. I share opportunities that they have. I always post their posts. So they know that I'm loyal to them in that sense, but I'm not part of them as a volunteer anymore. So it's very possible for you to, maybe change your mindset around loyalty, for that kind of organization. And it's free. You're free, please. Nobody, I know it's hard, especially if you stayed like 5, 6, 7 years in an organization. It's hard to move on, but it's totally okay for you to move on and support in other ways. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Okay, I see that she says yes.
All right, thank you very much, Ma, for that brilliant response. Thank you so much. All right, like again, we are running out of time a bit, and we are going to be moving on to the next session, which is panel session. So we're going to be bringing on board experts. When I mean expert, I mean it. I mean people who have rooted experience. In fact, I work with two of them, two of the speakers, two of the panelists that are going to be bringing on board. I work with two of them, and they are very rooted in their experience. They work with numerous organizations, and they have track record. Yeah, they have track record, pedigree of of their work, exceptional work. They do in all these organizations. They also have their own initiative where they're in as well. So, if your hand is not busy, I'm going to be welcoming the first panel here, which is Messi, Ame Messi. Yeah, Ame Messi. I'm going to just read a brief of about Ame Messi bagged her first degree at Taishan University of Education in Ijebu State, and she is a humanitarian, an interior designer, and a French educator. Come on. And she has volunteered for numerous organizations, conferences like Toyosi Akrele Ogunsiji Conference, Incation Conference, Ambassador Summit, Chance Initiative, Health, Nina, Crystal Edge Professional Conference, Food and Jeans, GBG Feast, Gogo, Leap Africa, Coca-Cola Foundation, Food Click Initiative, Warif, Kupi Foundation, Ubokung Foundation, and it goes on like that. Please join me as I welcome Messi on the call. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're there, you can just unmute your mic and say hi. Messi, if you can hear me, just unmute your mic and say hi.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. So glad to welcome you on board. All right, so maybe as we progress, she will share her experience and even more of her profile to you. All right, the next on our list, next panel, like I said, I worked with them. I worked with Messi before. Yeah, I've worked with her in different musicians as a volunteer, and of course, I also have our next panel. Our next panelist is Winnie Nwagbali. He is founder of an organization that awards volunteers, for their incredible, works that they are doing in their respective field, organization, and all that. And like I said, I've also worked with him. In fact, he has referred me to organizations. In fact, an international organization. All right, so let me welcome her. Let me not waste our time. Let me welcome him rather. Winnie Nwagbali is proudly a Nigeria social impact advocate, strategically different in his approach and deeply supportive in his leadership style. He is the host of Live Conversation with Winnie, an online panel series that bridges together experts across diverse fields to share real-time insight, professional experiences, and practical knowledge through virtual conversation. He is the founder and executive director of My6, My6 Volunteers Nigeria, a community-focused organization committed to engaging young people in productive activities that foster personal development, capacity building, and marketplace-ready skill acquisition. His passion for volunteerism and the drive to mainstream its culture in Nigeria inspired the creation of the annual Nigeria Volunteers Award, as I told you before, a national initiative that celebrates and amplifies social impact across Nigeria. Please join me as I welcome Winnie on this call. Please, Winnie, if you're here, just say hi to the participant. Yeah, thank you very much.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome on board.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome. All right. Moving on to the next panel. Moving on to the next panelist is Adeyemi Oluwabunmi. He is a forward-thinking public health professional, development practitioner, and tech-driven project leader whose work spans community health, youth development, digital innovation, and national tourism advocacy. With more than 6 years of meaningful contribution, in Nigeria's NGO and global health sectors. He has supported high-impact programs in collaboration with institutions like the World Health Organization. And of course, you say, he served as a data entry clerk and independent supervisor with World Health Organization during national immunization campaigns and worked as a clinic consultant with Healthland Alliances, directly supporting over 6,000 people living with HIV/AIDS. Please, again, these people, they have rich profile, but I can't read all. Join me as I welcome Adeyemi on the call, this program today. Thank you so much, everybody. Please join me as I welcome you. If you're on the call, please, you can unmute your mic and say hi. If you're on the call, just unmute your mic and say hi. Adeyemi, can you hear me? Adeyemi, can you hear me? Hello, Adeyemi, can you hear me? All right. I believe he will join us if he's not here.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Adeyemi, for joining us on the call today. Thank you so much. Okay. The next panelist we have here today, and also the last, is Emmanuel Adekunle. Emmanuel Adekunle is a chartered accountant and currently serves as a finance manager at a leading consultancy firm in Nigeria. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting from Olabisi Onabanjo University and a Master of Business Administration (MBA) with a specialization in finance from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He is also associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants for Nigeria, ICAN. Beyond his professional career, Emmanuel is a dedicated financial consultant offering strategic guidance and support to a range of business and individuals. Please join me as I welcome Emmanuel on the call. Please, with a clapping. I'm only seeing opera clapping. Why? What about Abubakar? What about John? What about Mercy? What about Geneva? What about Yusuf? What about Suleiman? What about Blossomy? What about Charity? Join me together for these people. They've leave their schedules for today to come and attend to you, to come and pour their knowledge to you. So it's important you welcome them. Thank you so much, Precious. Thank you, everybody. All right. Without wasting much time, we're going to be diving into the panel session proper. And I want you to keep your questions because we're going to take questions. And as we have this conversation, all right, as we have this conversation. All right, so I'm going to be starting first with Mercy. Mercy has a rich experience when it comes to volunteering, and I believe she'll be able to do very good justice to this question. Please pay attention in case you have a question to ask them, right? In case if you have any question to ask. Okay, so can you hear me, Mercy?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Oh, great! Thank you so much. You might also want to, display your video, turn on your video if you want. I'll probably, if you're in a very good and comfortable place, you can also turn on your video when it is time for you to answer a question.
Now.
Can you hear me? What did you say?
I said I won't turn it up for you.
Oh, okay, great. All right, I can see your face. Welcome, thank you. All right, so I'm going to be starting with Mercy. Right. So, when Rema was talking, when she was talking about mobilizing community action, she spoke about very important aspects of volunteering, which has to do with skill base, being skillful, be competent enough to be able to serve. So in that regard, I want you to address this question: how can we, as volunteers, discover, package, how can we discover, I don't know if you can still hear me here, how can we discover, package and deploy
Yes, I can.
our personal and professional skills, all right, in a way that directly meets organization needs or whether our communities. How can we discover it? How can we package it? How can we serve it to the community? Our skills, our skill set, and all of that. I don't know if you get the question. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for that question. Good morning, everyone. And thanks for coming on this, for joining this. So, first of all, I think for getting the question, you said, how can a volunteer discover package skills? I will first say it comes from a place of self-examination and self-awareness. If you don't, if you don't know yourself, if you don't have anything, you can't package it. So that's where we have the word discover. If you don't have anything, you can't package it. As a volunteer, we've left the era whereby you just come as empty as you are. Some people are still there, but over 100, I would say 80% now of this world we have, we've left the era whereby you have nothing in you and you are coming to volunteer. We've left that era. I won't say 100%, but with time, we are going to live there totally because you must have a value you want to render. You must, as small as it is, either be it in a personal skill, whether let's say handcraft or professional skill, we're talking about professional skill, we're talking about project management or graphics design or slide making. Just do something. That's a professional skill. And we're talking about personal skill, maybe handcraft or something. You must have what you want to package. As a volunteer, know that for yourself. Examine yourself before you volunteer. What do I want to package? What do I want to do for this NGO or for this organization, for this community that I'm going to volunteer? That's the first thing first. If you now know that you've discovered yourself, you've discovered what you want to deliver, the value you want to render, then you can ask, okay, this value I want to render, how do I package it? How do I make it something that once I get to the organization, I'm going to, they would know. Putting yourself first. When don't run behind, don't move behind and say, okay, they're looking for who will do this thing. You know it, but you just let someone go first. Be ready to lead as a volunteer. That is how you can package yourself. Be ready to lead as a volunteer. Don't wait for someone to take the lead, then you now come behind. No. As far as you know the thing and you know even though you don't know your onions, yes, if you know your onions, fine. But if you don't know your onions, be ready to lead, ready to ask questions, communicate, pack those ideas you have together, make it one, and walk up there. Okay, this is what I can render. Some organization does not even know your value. They don't know what you have as a pack or what you've packaged. Tender it to them. Okay, this is what I can do. I can project manage this program we are about to do. I can do this. I can do that. Make yourself visible. Let me give an example. When there was a time that we went to one community in Lagos and they were looking for, I think that was Makoko, yes, and they had language issue. That was 2018. Yes, if I'm not 2018. We were to distribute sewing machine and they were having language issue. Of course, the two things that they were having there is language issue and how to navigate on how to get the beneficiary, because we had a lot of beneficiary. Now, think outside the box to get this thing done. They brought all the volunteers together. I know that if I think outside the box, I'm going to get solution. Immediately they were asking questions. How do you think we can share this 10 sewing machine to the volunteer, to the beneficiary? How do we get this beneficiary? 10 people out of numerous, let us say about 100. And I say to give all of them, let's collaborate with this organization, Rekindle Africa. Let us give them 1 yard of clothes to sew. And anybody, and give them time frame to it. Anybody that can bring out something from it at that particular time we give to the person, then this it shows that the person can sew. Because we are there at that particular time, we can evaluate their results. Immediately I sold out my idea. And it's okay, this person, I think this person is very good. The next thing, they were having language issue, language barrier. They understand French and Egun, but nobody understands French and Egun amidst us. I sold that myself immediately.
And at that particular time, when we finished the project, I was able to A on my game. Like people wanted to connect with me. I'm not even the one connecting with people at this point. They want to connect with me, know what you have and what you want to package, how to package it. And before you know, you are going to be able to launch out without hurting yourself and getting what you want from volunteering. Know what you want, examine yourself, know what you want to deliver. Don't be everywhere. Yes, at the beginning you can when I started, I was everywhere volunteering, but I was able to, through the help of SDGs, I was able to navigate my own interest to the organization I want to volunteer with, to the impact I want to be. So please, once as a volunteer, from this question, examine yourself. That's how you're going to be able to discover what you want. Secondly, be able to, when you examine yourself, the results you get, package it well, sell it to the organization, and be ready to serve. Don't hide behind, and make yourself, don't make yourself stay. Project yourself. Make sure you are where they anywhere any place they need someone handy to grab immediately. Be present. That is how you can put yourself as a spotlight. Amidst hundreds of volunteers, you will shine so fast. That's my answer to that, Mr. Solomon. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we can. Solomon, can you hear her?
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Mercy.
so
That
much,
was so
Mercy.
spot on.
You're welcome.
Hello.
We can hear you, Solomon.
Okay. You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we
Hello?
can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. All right. I think my network was a bit fluctuating. Okay, so oh, all right. So thank you very much, Mercy, for that very insightful response. My next question will go to, because of our time, my next question will go to Winnie. Um, and my question will be, um, there's this saying that volunteering is like an answer to loneliness, is the cure for loneliness. So, um, as a as an expert or as an experienced person in volunteering, what specific volunteering behaviors or attitude or activities can help volunteers build meaningful connections and reduce isolation as per se, as people probably say, maybe because you are bored, you are lonely, that's why you want to go and volunteer and all of that. What specific, volunteering behaviors or activities or attitude do you think can help volunteers, build meaningful connections and reduce isolation? I don't know
All
if you can
right.
hear me, Winnie.
Yeah, I can hear you. I heard you very clearly. Thank you so much for the question and to the organizers, to the
Can you hear
team.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Uh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I
All
can
right.
hear you now.
All right. So first things first, I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers of this great initiative, the to my co-panelists. Thank you so much, and to the entire team at Volunteers Connect. Thank you. Shout out to Messi. That was so spot on, so instructive, so so insightful. The insight there, in fact, I'm going to draw from yours. If you allow me, I would say she has actually, like, she has tapped from what I was supposed to say. But however, I can also come from another angle. So to your question, first things first, volunteering is not a tool to kill boredom. That is a very wrong approach to volunteering. uh, Personally, volunteerism culture is a call to action. So a call to action simply means that you are not going there to keep fun, to have fun. Mm-mm. You are going there to work. is a call to work. That is my understanding. We must understand why we are into it. By the time we understand why we want to do certain things, our approach to that thing determine how far we will go and how result driven we will be with that thing. So for me, volunteerism is more powerful than what we actually say. It aligns with personal values. Volunteers should take time to understand why they serve. Why am I here? The reason I'm here, am I meeting up? Am I living up to expectations? They must understand that and what issues genuinely they want to serve. Now, this is where the sustainable development goals comes in. As an entrepreneur or as an employee, whatever space you find yourself, ensure that if you are not doing anything to meet to solve a problem, at least one of the sustainable development goals. We have 17 of them. If you are not doing, if your whatever you are doing is not falling in line with at least one goal, I think you should evaluate it. This is my understanding. Because if you are coming to serve, definitely that organization you want to serve it as a volunteer is working with at least one or two sustainable development goals. Now you being there, what is yours? Like what is your personal values? What issues do you want to solve? How does it align with the 17 or with any of the 17 sustainable development goals? By the time you understand this, number one, purpose is established, objectives are established. You know why you are leaving your house to that project. You know why you are leaving your house to that outreach. Look at what message you shared. She was there. She was not just there to carry placard. She wasn't just there because I want to be there to show my presence or I want to be there because I'm bothered. So no, she was there. She met needs. She didn't just meet a need. She met needs, at least two major needs that eventually catapulted her to the next level. That made her stand out. You can see the issue. She solved a language barrier. Now she also brought a design thinking that helped to shape and meet the organizational expectation as regards that project they wanted to execute. Now, by the time we begin to see ourselves as social impact executioner, we will carry ourselves differently. Because so many of us, we just go to where it's bubbling. We want to carry placards. I'm sorry to say, we love to carry placard. We do it. It's like we are doing these things for the gram. And this is not what volunteerism is all about. It's work. So again, it is not to keep bottom. First things for you, we are not coming to keep bottom. We are coming to solve problems. That is why not everybody will be there. That is why we are more like intercessors. We stand in the gap. We are interceding for people. We are interceding for communities. We are interceding for society. We are interceding for people, beneficiaries. So by the time we have this picture that we have this very, very clear, everybody will know why he or she is where he or she at every given point in time. Thank you so much. I hope I've not taken so much of our time. Thank you all.
Wow, that was incredible, right? I pick one thing from her session, from the session. You are not just coming to keep boredom, as per se, you are coming to solve a need, you are coming to solve a problem. Thank you so much, Winnie, for that very precise and concise response. Okay, moving on. This question will be directed to Emmanuel. Manek, I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, Solomon. Good morning, everybody. I can hear you. Can you hear me as well?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you very clear. Okay, no, so now we understand, that the world is now operating, job, is now online. Most of the job we do today are virtual, remote work and all of those things. And volunteering too has also jump into that as well. It's not like it has even jumped there, it's already there. Some people work virtually, serve virtually, at the comfort of their home. You know, some people can be here in Lagos and be working for, international organizations in UK, in London, whatever. All right. So my question would be, what skills do you think um, volunteers need to be effective as when it comes to this remote or virtual volunteering? And how can we start developing those skills? How can we own those skills? I don't know if you get the questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Solomon. Good morning, everybody. To the convener, Dr. Ruama, a good friend, uh, fellow panelists, guests. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Onoshose. I think you skipped part of my profile where you were introducing me. I'm a member of Rotaract Club. Um, which is a partner of Rotary. And when we say Rotaract, most people don't understand what Rotaract is. But then when we say Rotary, they have an idea. So Rotaract is a partner, with Rotary. Um, a bit of introduction. It's also a voluntary organization whereby you can join and make impact. Right. So let's dive into the question. What skill do volunteers need today to be effective in virtual or remote volunteering roles? Just like you said as well, Solomon, life today after COVID, most work, most jobs, most activities have now, been restricted to remote and physical, right? And it's just so great that we as human beings we've actually adapted, to the change. Right. So for volunteers, we volunteers, I'm also a volunteer, and let me also come in from my own perspective because it is also very important that we use life scenarios so that people can understand. One of the skills people really need to develop, to develop themselves as volunteers is digital verbal communication. Right. You wouldn't say, oh, you want to volunteer, right? And you do not know how to, communicate with people, right? It is also very important that people say, oh, they are introverted, they don't like talking. Yes, we know you don't like talking to a gathering of one, two, three, five people. But what about virtually? Can you communicate well? Can you send messages directly across to people, right? Because if people are engaging you in your service as a volunteer or you're rendering a service, for the good of humanity, it is also important that whatever message you are sending out, it's crystal clear. People understand what you're trying to communicate. So digital verbal communication, it is very, very important. Sometimes it is not just verbal as well, written. There are organizations that use correspondence, emails, memos, WhatsApp chat, and the likes to communicate within organization. So it is also important that as you are joining an organization to volunteer as an individual, you need to develop several skills, which includes communication, verbal communication, written communication. You should be able to express messages, in clear language, right? How do you do that? There are several online platforms you can learn how to communicate effectively. I remember a friend of mine saying, "Oh, she built the courage to speak by doing a 5 minute video recording of herself every day. She just drops her phone, on the camera, speaks to the phone for like 5 minutes, says whatever comes to her head. She kept on doing that over time, day in, day out, and within 2, 3 months, she became an expert in speaking. So those are ways that is one way we can actually develop ourselves, communication wise. Another skill apart from communication, we really need to, understand is time management and discipline because when you're volunteering online digitally, people are not there to monitor your work. People are not there to say, oh, are you following the deadlines or are you doing the right thing at the right time? So it is also very important. Okay, was it Rama that said it? Someone said it at the beginning that, oh, they say volunteers are jobless. Then I wonder how I am volunteering because I mean, I'm a chartered accountant. There's no time. My work is very strenuous. I mean, days, nights. I have to focus on work. I have to complete deadlines. I have to meet the timesheets allotted for jobs, right? And then how do I manage volunteering in Rotaract, right? Doing projects, several projects, and then my work is still there. So time management is a very important thing. You need to really plan yourself, and that days you really need to range your tasks from most important priority, to mid to less important. You start picking them one after the other. Okay, my work is quite important to me because that is what feeds me, that is what gives me the financial capacity to volunteer, to contribute, right, in this cause for helping people around our communities, right? So I have to take it as a priority. When I have tasks, I do that while I'm in the office. When I get home, if I have spare time, I quickly run through my obligations as a volunteer in Rotaract, right? So you need to be disciplined when it comes to managing your time and managing your task. And it is also important that you set reminders using Google Reminder. If you are using Teams, you can do a calendar, set a reminder on your Teams, right? Notion, so many digital platforms one can use, to discipline oneself, you know, for your tasks. So time management is the second thing. Another thing we really need to adopt as a skill is technology, right? We evolve every day technology wise. There were times whereby there was nothing like Zoom or Teams calls or Teams, but now we have those kind of platforms. It's just so be bad if we say we have a volunteer who doesn't know how to install all these application and join a call. There was a time a friend of mine was having a webinar and he said he was going to use Teams. And people started saying, why are you using Teams? Who is using Teams? People don't use Teams. Oh, why can't you use WhatsApp platforms? Add people to a WhatsApp group and call the group. And I said, it is high time people evolve. The times whereby you have meetings on WhatsApp or you have meetings on what's it called, Google Meet, is, I mean, you really need to evolve, understand all these platforms. How Another thing you also need to do to also understand as a volunteer is that there are times you really need to learn skills like Canva, to design flyer, to design broadcast, because you are sending out informations. If you are just sending out information in plain text, sometimes it doesn't come out well. You need to attach visuals. And I know a lot of volunteers that know how to design through Canva. So getting all these skills, learning all these skills yourself is very important. I do flyers myself using Canva. I go to the Canva website. Um, I check for templates I can adopt for my design. So it is also very important. So thirdly, we need to adopt technology. The fourth thing is collaboration. You need, as an individual, need to know how to collaborate with people,
Mm.
because you'll
Yeah,
be working with 10, 20, 50 people. In Rotaract, in
exactly.
my district, we have over 400 members, right?
Mm.
So we now come into the organization and say, oh, if you are given a task to do, I don't know how to collaborate, or I don't know how to engage people in teamwork. No, you really need to develop that, right? Even you can start from your church. You can join a unit in your church. Oh, children department or those welfareism, evangelism, join something, ushering, engage with people. Those are the basic places we can actually develop ourselves before we go to the larger community, to larger organizations. Right, collaborations, teamwork is another skill we actually need to, develop. And collaboration is not just limited to collaboration. It has to do with you being able to listen to people when they speak. Do you listen to people, or you don't have you don't know how to listen to people to get every piece of information they're trying to pass across? Another thing is empathy. When people complain, when people communicate with you, how do you receive the information they pass across to you? If you are working in a team with people and they are communicating, how do you receive their communication as a threat, or oh, they are too demanding, or oh, they are overreacting? So empathy is also very key, because dealing with several people, several volunteers, going into the community to understand the pain of people, to render that solution to that problem they're having. You have to be empathetic as well, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Another
Thank
skill.
you.
Okay, okay, all
Mano,
right. Thanks so
yeah,
much.
I think you've mentioned a very quite, primary and fundamental, skills that we can actually adopt as when it comes to this virtual volunteering. So, communication is one of the most important area, that you mentioned and highlighted over there. So thank you so much. Because of our time, that is why I had to quickly, cut in a bit. Yeah. I hope apologies for that, please. All right, so
No
let's quickly
problem.
move to, yeah, thank you so much. Let's quickly move to Adeyemi. All right, so Adeyemi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Hello.
hear you loud and clear. Yeah, loud and clear. I can hear you.
Oh, excellent. All right, so there is this gap. There are gaps. So you and I know that it exists when it comes to volunteering. Some gaps, could be from the organization aspect, it also could be from volunteer aspect as well. So I want you to briefly, enlighten us on ways, practical ways. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes,
All
yeah, we
right.
are
So,
with you.
okay. Let me quickly.
Sorry. I can hear you. I can hear you. I have network. I have it.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone.
All right.
Good morning to the conference.
Okay. So I want you to share with us. So let me turn off this camera. Yeah. I'm actually using two devices, so I need to turn on this because it's echoing. Okay. So Adeyemi, please, can you please share with us practical ways we can bridge this gap that exists in volunteerism or among volunteers, and how we can meet the needs, community needs,
Hello,
organization
Solomon.
needs.
Sorry, please. I think two of your gadgets are on, and while you're speaking, it's one of them is echoing into the other. So if you can kindly switch off one of your gadgets so you could speak with one.
Okay. What about now?
Better.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So, Adeyemi, I hope you got my question. How practical ways we can bridge the gap that exists among volunteers.
All right. Thank you very much, Solomon, for that question. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for the question. So that as we talk about identifying that understanding basic solutions in volunteerism. So basically, before you can identify any gap as a volunteer, first thing you must do is to approach the community where you want to make an impact. I believe a lot of people get it wrong when it comes to volunteerism. People think it's just about saying I'm a volunteer and all that, but before you do anything for a community, you have to know about the community. You have to gather information. You have to listen. You have to observe. You have to engage. These are very, very important. And when you do this, you get cooperation of the community. You would get your attention as a volunteer. So it is very, very important. You get the attention, you observe, and you listen to whatever the community has to say. For instance, as the program manager of Rally Network, let me say Rally Network, we have really had a community dialogue with a lot of communities when we are carrying out our local activities. We gather, because when we have this dialogue, we gather real insight. Imagine we have a work plan that we want to work with for that particular community, and at the end of the day, we based on the dialogue we have with that community, we got to get more information got to get more information. But sorry, can I meet for a second? Sorry. Sorry.
Hello, Solomon. We can't hear you.
Okay, is a request that you gave him a minute. Just want to clear. Ademi is currently speaking, please.
All right, thank you so much. Sorry for that. I am currently in a community outreach, so that is why I have to take a look at something. So, as I'm saying, for you to be able to be a good volunteer, when you talk about volunteer, is
Ademi, your
community
background is
outreach.
noisy. Can you hear me? Okay, so Adeyemi, we'll come back to this question for you. Let's quickly move on. Messi, can you hear me? Hello, Messi, can you hear me? I still hear Messi. Okay, I guess maybe her network. Okay, so very quickly,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with us.
Winnie. Yeah, great. Okay, so this will be be like our last questions for our panel. So if you are still here, please ensure you stay true. And if you've not filled the attendance form, you can just copy the link and take it to your browser and fill it. It's very important for us to take record of today. All right, very quickly, Winnie. 2026 is set to be a year of International Year of Volunteering. Set to be a International Year of Volunteering. So I'd love you to quickly address us on how we as volunteers, uh, not just organization now, but we as volunteers prepare ourselves to lead meaningful initiatives, to take meaningful initiative, to champion meaningful initiative and scale impact. I don't know if you get the question. Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I got a question. All right, thank you so much for the question. First things first, congratulations to every social impact executioner there. We are volunteers, we are intercessors. So this year, we'll be celebrating and also being celebrated, right? Even while being celebrated, also be doing the work. So that's what we are called to do. So first things first, I think let's build relevant skill sets and competence. Sometimes I think we are not emphasizing enough the importance of competence. We must understand the fact that being competent, number one, is to our advantage, even as volunteer, because that will also expose us more to more lucrative and impact-driven opportunities. Now, this will take us back to the first question when we talked about, be impact-driven while you are doing the stuff, you are being strategic. Be strategic in the course of even while you are trying to also make impact. You are serving, but trust me, you can also be strategic in service. Now, how can you be strategic when skill sets are not in place? Not just skill sets, relevant skill sets, and one of which happens to be technology. This era we are in. We are not going backward. The world is evolving even more technologically. So we have to be aware of this. Number one, we have to bring competence. We have to come to terms that leadership is key. See, project management is key. We have to be very, very skillful and very resourceful. Communication and storytelling. Our impact must be shared out there. As an impact driven volunteer, impact project coordinator, we should be able to tell our stories. People must see there should be a before and after. Even during the course of big projects, there should be a story behind it. We should be able to share that. That is how we get it out there. Fundraising, resource mobilization, digital skills. Of course, someone shared about that. Our other colleague on the panel session shared about that. Skillful volunteering skills. Number one, as a volunteer, in this organization, what are you serving? Are you a grant person? Are you good with administrative affairs? Are you good with fundraising? Are you good with public? Are you good with communication? Are you good with PR? All these skills are relevant skills that are needed. And I don't want to focus too much on myself, but I will tell us for a fact that being skillful, this setting values to the fore have exposed me to a whole lot of opportunities that sometimes I'm not even there. I delegate people to just go there. At the end of the day, now this is where leadership comes in. You can't be everywhere at a time. Now, who are you also investing in so that at the end of the day, there will not be loopholes, so that other people can also fill in that gap? That is how we spread. They say, take it forward. We should be able to also look for people who can also invest our skills into, so that while we are not there, there is no vacuum. The moment they are beginning to say, now it's a two-way thing. There can be a leader who is for whom to invest in. Now, is anybody willing to be invested in? Are they ready to commit to time? That is where mentorship and mentoring relationship comes in. A mentor, a mentee. There is a mentor, there is a mentee. Now there is a mentee, there is a mentor. By the time they are able to balance all of this, now people will understand why they do what they do. So all this as we said, and we're also talking about strengthening emotional intelligence and character. I think on my post, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, I shared about character. I said talents, skill set can get us that recognition, can get us that access, can give us the opportunities, can get us into that door. But character keeps us. Character sustains what has been given to us. We must not lose sight of that fact that character is very key. Because if they invite you today to come, you might have that skill set. But how do you, because we must see, as a volunteer, we are serving a very sensitive space. Because we are looking at the affairs of people. We are all our custodians of our beneficiaries that we have been called to serve. It's just like pastor and the congregation. The pastor is the custodian of their flocks. We are serving in the space of, or in the capacity of pastors. So we must understand that these beneficiaries, we are in our custody. And so it is very important that we are empathy, we express empathy to them. We try to put ourselves in their shoes. Let's not expect that they will reason in our own capacity. Because sometimes you might think that they are, I don't know if they have been to several community engagement and all of that, outreaches, whereby you see these beneficiaries, look at it, they are being, there's this word I want to use, like it is their rights, for them to get this benefit. I don't know if you understand. But there you must understand that they are coming from a particular background, and you can't compare yourself to them. It's just for you to just come back to their level to understand that, you know what, I understand how you feel. But however, we can also help to guide them so that we don't, because of that, neglect the problem that we are called to solve. So by the time we're able to put on up, there are so many, but because of time, for the benefit of other panelists, so that they can also have time to share their own thoughts. So it's important we have this character, empathy, skill sets, and let you strong connection to collaboration at the end of the day. Because I always tell people, I will wrap up with this. The sustainable development goals is not one person's goal. It is our goal. It is the world's goal. You are coming to play a part. You can only play your part and also collaborate with people. So when there's an opportunity to collaborate, please, let's embrace it. And, as together, we'll do a whole lot of good and massive things. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's profound. Please, can you jam your hands together for Winnie, can you please? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is profound. Two things. Two things. Character and competence. Character and competence. If you're not, if you're competent and you don't have the character, you might not go far in this volunteering. And if you have character, you must also strive to be competent and skillful as well. That was profound one. Really, thank you so much for that very uh, insightful and thoughtful contribution from your end. Thank you so much. Um, all right. I don't know if Messi is back. Messi, are you back? If not,
Yes, I am
um,
back. I had network issues.
oh,
Yeah, I'm back.
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, I would love you to quickly address this question briefly. All right. So the question would be, um, you know, when we're talking about emotional intelligence and all of those things, it's very important. I've had people, in some organizations complain about their well-being, most importantly, health and emotional aspects of their life. And sometimes organizations don't seem to understand, the health and emotional well-being of their volunteers. Just treat them anyhow. So I want you to quickly address us on how we can protect, our emotional well-being while serving, and so that we can be able to reduce burnout and stress as we serve. I don't know how can we be able to, protect our emotional. I mean, that's the question. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that question. First of all, I would say we have individual differences, and we need to learn that. That's where handling people, working with people come in, and we need to learn about temperament. I've worked with choleric, I'm using myself as an example. I've worked with sanguine, I've worked with a lot of melancholy. And sometimes when I work with sanguine and choleric, it's always a lot. And I'm someone that little thing puncture my emotions. I feel bad. But over time, that's when I started volunteering. But over time, volunteering has helped me a lot to work with people and not get offended.
Mm,
Secondly, I would say that learn to ask question and communicate. As if you don't know how to communicate as a volunteer, your emotion is going to be dealt with. Is going to be dealt with. How and why? You want to volunteer in Salty Santa Initiative. I told you I'm going to give you something because I told you there's going to be something for the volunteers, and you have that at the back of your mind. And at the end of the event, I shared shirt for you, and at the beginning of the event, and everybody, when we are done, people start going, and they were expecting that they would see something. I did not communicate that the something is not going to be shared. I did not tell you that I'm giving you money. At least I'm going to be giving you something. So before you came on board, I just told you something. You would have asked ma or sir. Don't be shy about it as a volunteer. Always learn to communicate. Always learn to ask. What you are giving to us, is it monetary? Is it ordinary? Is it shirt? Let me know if the word ordinary. Is it shirt? Is it just ask so that emotionally you will not feel bad. I volunteered last year with an organization, and before the end of the event, some were already going and they didn't get anything. One of the volunteers started crying. She felt so bad. She was crying. She didn't even get food. So you will not come when people say, they need volunteer and they come to me, I'll tell them, what do you have for these volunteers? Because they would not go this far. Yes, they are coming to serve. You people are coming to serve, but ask question. And if you did not ask question, just know that it's from your own end, and don't put your expectation don't put it too high, so that when you don't get things, you will not be disappointed. Your emotions will not be. You will not feel bad. That's in when you are working when you are volunteering for an organization, the emotion part, that's where it comes in. So thirdly, I'm talking about you mentally, you're passing through a lot and you are volunteering for this organization. Communication is what I'm saying. You have leaders, you have the founder. Why can't you walk up to the founder in or write to her or him in his inbox sorry, please, I know I'll be volunteering. I will not be available for this period. This is what I am doing. I'm passing through something. You don't know whether what you are passing through at that particular time, the solution is even by right lying beside you where you are volunteering. So emotions can be dealt with or punctured or affected if we do not learn the act of communication. If you are expecting something from an organization, ask, communicate, make sure you're on the same page with the person or the organization. If you're passing through a lot, or maybe or somebody has even offended you, let us talk about volunteers or leader. Leaders offend, mentor offend. Let us learn communication and respect on how to put it down, how to communicate. You can tell what happened here. It did not sit well with me. Can we do it this way? The manner of approaching our communication matters a lot. As a volunteer, you need to learn how to communicate appropriately. So when you are communicating appropriately, your emotions is not altered, is not tempered with. You are fine, and the opponent too is fine. Your connection is fine, and you too you are fine. Anybody that's offended you, you can voice out, and everybody's on the same page. But please mind you, as a volunteer, we have individual differences. Learn to work with people. And if people are already stepping on your toes and you say, okay, I think I can avoid this person and still make my work done, then it's fine. If it's going to affect your work, relate to your leader, relate to someone that is superior, and learn to manage issues. I think we should develop ourselves, learn how to help ourselves so that when we are dealing with people, our emotions will not be affected. And if people offend you, learn to do it with love and correct the situation, because emotions, you need to be mentally sane, emotionally sane, mentally okay to volunteer. If not, you would go and damage where you are going to and damage your reputation. So please, as a volunteer, emotionally learn to communicate, learn to handle people with their temperament, and show love. Let love be superior. Show love. People that are trying to step on your toes, prayerfully, let is me bringing God into it. Prayerfully, let God help you handle them also. Thank you very much, Mr. Solomon. If there's any question, I'm open to answer.
Yes, please don't go yet. We still have more interaction from you. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was a very wonderful one. And one thing I'm going home with, and I believe others are going with, is understand the personalities that you are working with, understand their temperament. All right, it's very important. That will serve as a guide to be able help you know how to work with them, and as well deal with situations when it comes up. Thank you so much, Mercy, for that. All right, last one to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, hope you are still here.
Yes, I'm with you, Solomon.
Great, 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 great. Okay, so my last question for you before we allow the audience also ask their question uh, is is going to be on what I call the. Hope you can still hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, great, great. All right. So, I want to talk about this when it comes to mindset about volunteering, especially in Africa. There are a lot of rumors. Let me put it that way, or there are a lot of mindset, different mindset as regard volunteerism in Africa. So, I want you to address us on what mindset do we need to have? Do we need to embrace, in Africa to reposition volunteerism? What like the what mindset shift do we as volunteers need to embrace, to reposition volunteerism, which is a tool for development, in our nation, even as the world at large. So I don't know if you get the question. Thank you so much. Please
All right.
briefly
Thank
because of our
you.
time.
Yeah. Solomon, don't tell me briefly because I still have a lot to share. Anyway, okay, briefly. Let me start by quoting Mark Twain, who said, "The two most important days in one's life are the days you are born and the days we find out why. And yes, some of us we try to find out why. What is our purpose, right? What is our purpose in life? Which is the first question we really need to ask ourselves as volunteers. What is your purpose? Why do see the need to volunteer? Because without that question ringing in your mind, whatever you do, it's just like a waste of time to you. And another question is, what impact do you want to make? And the third question is, how can you make impact? I think those are the three major questions we really need to go back home, and resonate with. What is our purpose? What impact do we want to make? And how can we make that impact? The question to how can we make that impact is the reason why some of us join these voluntary humanitarian organizations so that we can create that impact in our society. When we are now talking about the mindset shift that volunteers really need, to make in Africa, for volunteerism to be developed, to the best of its ability, is that volunteers need to move away from short-term engagement to long-term commitment. We have volunteers that will come in today, tomorrow they are nowhere to be found. The zeal is not there again. And that gives us the question, so what is your purpose of joining? Why did you join if you know you won't be committed? You won't stay committed in that service to humanity, in that help you're giving to that community around you. That is the first mind shift we actually need to do. We need to stop doing short-term engagement, focus on long-term. Stay where you are, render assistance to the community, do projects, or volunteer in other organizations. Right? You can be a member of a particular volunteering group, join another one if you feel like, if you think they are not being impactful the way you want to, be as an individual. Another thing we really need to do is we stop asking what can we give and rather ask what can we build, in the sense that I see people that say, oh, they want to be a volunteer, they want to go to the community, share rice today, and oh, that is their own way of impacting lives. Yes, you are solving an hunger of today, but tomorrow, when the same person gets hungry, what do? Do you go again tomorrow so you can share foodstuff? So it is also very important that we look at a way of building um, this phase of volunteerism, whereby we need to collaborate with other organizations and find impactful projects to do. If two, three, four organizations are partnering for a project, go to the community, find people that are vulnerable, give them a skill to do. The skill they are learning, the skill they're engaging in, the business you're setting up for them can actually sustain them longer than when you just go there today and give them, oh, let us share rice in a takeaway plate. So I think we're willing to have a mind shift from having projects that solves the need of a day to projects that actually solve the need for the future, a sustainable project. So that's another thing we actually need to do. And also, we're willing to start creating solutions in our environment, find a way to create solutions. Sometimes, like the SDG 17 goals, these are problems that has been highlighted to us that, oh, these are problems we can actually create solutions to. Yes, let us create solutions to that problem. At the same time, let us also look within ourselves. What directly affects us in our community? What is affecting us in Lagos can be different from whatever is affecting them in the north. And that is why we ask questions like banditry. Why do we have bandits? Why do you have all these acts of terrorism coming from the northern part of the country? Education. They don't believe in the need to be educated as individuals. Because when you look at the population of education in Nigeria, it starts from Lagos. And then you understand why a Lagosian will not pick up a gun and start saying, oh, I want to become a bandit. Right? So the need in the north is education. Their mindset needs actually to be shifted from the fact that, oh, the only way I can survive is actually to either to rear cows as what do they call them? All these people that rear cows. I've It has skipped my mind. But then, because they couldn't rear cows again, they couldn't. Okay, headsmen. Sorry, headers or something. That word is not coming. They really need to understand that there are other ways of surviving as individuals than being an herdman or actually being a bandit. So we really need to understand the solution that actually relates with us directly within our environment. Don't solve a goal that does not directly impact your community. Solve a goal that um, your community needs directly, because that is where the impact starts from. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, this is beautiful. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Again, what I'm picking out from your end is, we need to think of long term rather than short term. Most of we volunteers will always think of the immediate, gratification, or are going to gain immediately. If are they going to pay me stipend? Will they give me money? Will they give me t-shirt? Will they provide me data and all of those things? Immediate, gratification, immediate responses. But if we truly want to, champion good initiative and build relationship and thrive in this world of volunteering, we must think long term. Think long term. Thank you so much. Please, can we, please? I'm also seeing Opara again, always clapping, clapping, clapping. I think we'll have something for him. Opara, are you a lady or you a guy? All right, I think we'll have something for you. You've been truly engaging. Thank you so much. Others, please, let's jump ahead together for Emmanuel. Thank you so much. All right, so before I take Emmanuel Adeyemi last, if you have any question you want to ask us, please, you want to ask the panel rather, also try as much as possible to get them ready or drop them on the chat box. Emmanuel, I don't know if you are here that you are in a very comfortable place to speak right now. Emmanuel,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, so you can speak now, right? Good. Okay, so because of our time, I have a question for you. Yes, one more last question for you. And the question is, I'm coming, just a minute. Let me look at this. Again, please, if you have any question you have for our panel, do also drop them so that immediately we're done with Adeyemi, you can ask your question. Okay, so Adeyemi, so there is this so I don't know if you can still hear me. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, great. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So, Adeyemi, we've been talking about, we usually hear about innovation. We usually hear about innovation. And sometimes we don't think that there is innovation in volunteerism as well. Maybe when we hear in one innovation, we'll talk about it in business or in technology and all of business. But it will actually interest us to know that there is also what we call innovation in volunteerism. So I would love Emmanuel to quickly address us on that. So my question would be, what are some practical ways, what are some, practical ways we can take, innovative initiative in order for us to be relevant, in order for us to be relevant in our communities and even in the organization where we work. So I don't know if you get a question. What are the practical steps or approach that we can take to drive initiative that will make us remain relevant in our communities organization? I don't know if you get the question correctly. Adeyemi, can you hear me? I hope you can still hear me, please. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I don't think Adeyemi is on the call.
Oh, okay.
We can hear you.
All right.
I think
Okay, I think he's really having the maybe having a network issue. Okay. Winnie, Winnie, are you still here? Winnie, are you still here? Roma, I don't know if you can quickly reach
No,
out
Winnie.
to Winnie.
Winnie is not on the call right now.
Oh, I don't know if you can reach out to him because we need to take group picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, so before they give us their last words, yeah, want to say something? Okay. All right. So before they give us the last word, I don't know. Yeah, Rama, you want to speak?
No, please go ahead.
Okay, all right. So, all right. So Messi is still here. Emmanuel is still here. So, Precious, Precious,
Yeah.
please, can you mute your mic?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you very much. All right. So I don't know if anybody have any question. Do any one of us have question for Messi, for Emmanuel? Um, I don't know if Adeyemi is back. If you have any question, you can unmute your mic and or respond or react with an emoji or indicate by raising up your hand, and I will give you opportunity to hear your question. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear me. Can hear me. So any question, any question, any question, any question, any question, please. Any question, any question. Okay.
There is a question on the
Opera, you have
comment
question?
section.
On the
There is a
comment
question
section.
on the
Okay, let me
comment
check.
section.
Yeah, that's true. Gloria, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Opera, for calling my attention to that. So the question is, how do we differentiate over working as a volunteer and expanding your capacity? I think Messi should be able to answer this. I don't know who you're directing your question to, Messi, Gloria, but I think maybe we should hear maybe in 30 seconds from Messi and also from Wanda on how we can differentiate, working as a volunteer, also expanding or building capacity. Okay, Messi, please, can you attend to this question? Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone can answer.
Gloria. Okay. Gloria, before let me just drop some points. While you are volunteering, we expect that you are giving in and you are taking back. You are learning and you are also giving your skill or knowledge. But in a situation where sometimes you can volunteer to give your skill, but you're not taking anything in, you're just trying to support. Expanding your capacity. At that point whereby you are volunteering, the people they are volunteering with, we can't underestimate their power. How? You may be volunteering with someone that knows Otedola. You may be volunteering with someone that has a branch or a school in project management. You may be volunteering with someone that has a connection with a connection. So while you are volunteering, that opportunity you are volunteering with, that place you are, maximize the opportunity to to expand your capacity. Whatever capacity you know, the capacity you want to expand yourself in. Do you want to learn something? Do you want to get something? Do you want to get an opportunity? Know what you want first, what you want to expand your capacity in. So once you know it, where you are volunteering, put it out there. Like when I was volunteering in a place, I had passion for my interior design today. It came through volunteering. Me being in the business today was through volunteering. Someone I volunteered for told me she wants to do interior. I did the interior, and here I am doing interior business till date, and I've earned in 6 figures. If I didn't volunteer, would I be there? No. So I've expanded my capacity. I've done what I felt. If I was not volunteering, I won't get all this. So while you are volunteering, know what you want to expand your capacity on and put it out there. There's someone that would help you. There's someone that will connect you. There's someone that would link you up. I got my master's degree through the act of volunteering. People that linked me up, did everything for me was through volunteering. So open up, talk, whatever, know what you want to expand your capacity on first. Then from there, you push it out to your volunteering people, network, and you achieve what you want. That's just my contribution.
Wow, thank you so much, Mercy, for that. Thank you. I hope that answers your question, um, Gloria. I don't know if you want to have something to add to that. One of
All right, thank you, Solomon. I think Mr. has done great justice to the question. But another way, from another perspective, is you say you can expand your capacity when you volunteer with with a large organization. Let me state this in my organization, Rotaract. You know, there are so many roles you could be given, even from your club level. Secretary, um, a treasurer, you can go for the president. You know, before I joined this organization, I had limits to what I could do, how I could speak. It was from my act of volunteering in this organization that I actually achieved a lot of, capacity building within me. And these platforms gives me the opportunity to also develop myself in leadership wise, as a leader, right? When you volunteer, it opens doors for you. When you volunteer and you perform the best way you could, you see, every little task you're given, when you excel in them, people come back to say, okay, please help us with this, help us with that. You volunteered today as a team member. The next time you're volunteering as a team lead. The next time you're volunteering as a team manager. Progression, progress. So as you're volunteering, as you're doing your best and you're committed, it helps to build a capacity whereby you're given more tasks to do from minimum to maximum. And that is how you build capacity. In my organization, I rose from a club member to a sergeant at arms to a club president to the district level. So as long as you're volunteering and you're being sincere, you're doing your best, you're committed to whatever you're doing, you're also building your capacity in that way. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manuel, for that very succinct response. I believe, Gloria, you got a rich and robust answers to your question. Okay, I think that would be enough of what we take today. I can't talk. It's fine. I believe since you're able to get, um, I'm not satisfied. Though. How?
Okay, sorry, Solomon, can I ask Gloria, what aspects are you talking about so that we can tackle that?
Exactly. What
Good
aspects?
afternoon. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, I'm on the road and I was trying to. I just need to explain. So, the thing is, there is this foundation that I've been with for a number of years. Started as just a volunteer, and because of my, how do I put it now, my commitment and everything, I have risen to, okay, now I'm the executive assistant. But at then there was the social media manager, there was the project team coordinator, there was this, there was that, and somehow other how do I put it now? These people had other responsibilities and had to leave the organization. And because of my commitment, my hard work, she just said, "Oh Gloria, can you please fill in for this till we get another person?" And then somehow I've not gotten another person. Then the social media manager leaves. I'm the one filling in for social media manager. I'm the one filling in for project team coordinator. I'm the one filling in for volunteer manager. Like now it is overwhelming. Do you understand? Fine, I
Hmm.
understand that it is also expanding me because in a way I am learning about all of these things. But to be very honest, it can be overwhelming
Hmm.
at times because I have
To be
other
honest,
things that I do. So that's why I'm asking that. So is it that I'm overthinking it, or maybe I'm actually overworking, or it's just me being expanding my capacity? That's the question.
okay. Mercy.
Okay, this is not, this is, Gloria, this is just being overworked. You're not expanding. As far as you know this thing, you know them. That's why they said you should do it. That's not expanding your capacity. You know them already. Is what expanding your capacity to me. I feel you just have a bit of this idea of this thing, and you can't really undo it, but it just okay, be here and learn. You're expanding your capacity. But as far as you can handle this thing perfectly, very well, and you are now doing a lot of things, being overworked, communicate with your leader or the person that is in charge. Ma, I think this thing is really overwhelming. I think this I think you can reduce this for me. Ma, please, can we get somebody? This is becoming too much. I don't have time for myself. You will understand the person you are working with. Find a way to communicate to the person that this thing is becoming too much. I can't handle social media manager. I can't handle executive manager. I can't be the only one doing it. Can I get an helping hand? This is not expanding your capacity. You know how to do it. It's not that you don't know how to do it. So, come in, talk. This is becoming too much. This is where you need to just open your mouth and talk. Then they find an helping and find support system for you. That's just what I need to add to it. You know it. Mr. Solomon, over to you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Mercy. I don't know, before I add something, I don't know if Emmanuel has something to chip in, just for
Okay,
5 seconds.
let me
Five
just add
seconds.
to what Mr. said. I think, Gloria, what I would just say is you really need to build efficiency, and by doing everything, you can't build efficiency, right? So I think if it is a voluntary organization, you guys can recruit or bring in more members to fill in those roles, right? So I think it is best to just bring in doing everything. It's not you building capacity, just like Mr. said. And if you are building capacity, you need to be efficient in what you are doing. So thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. I think that answers your question, Gloria. When we talk about capacity building, yeah, I believe she's satisfied now because she said thank you so much. So when we're talking about capacity building, there's like I said earlier when we started this meeting, I was able to identify the area I want to volunteer in, the area of leadership, the area of this education, and the various organizations I've worked in. I try to stick to these areas. Handling has, and when I'm talking about that, I volunteer in education and leadership. I'm talking about I train, I facilitate, I manage programs. So these are my areas. And if I truly want to build capacity or building capacity in those areas in the organization where I'm serving, it must be in that area. I'm not saying you can't, factor in other responsibilities that can enhance that particular skill we're trying to expand. I'm not saying that, but that areas you should be focusing. If you're working as an executive assistant, in building capacity in that executive assistance mean that you are now adopting skills that can help you stay relevant as an executive assistant. That when you eventually leave that organization, you can be able to manage more effectively, more productively, and excellently in that role or the responsibility that's given to you. So I think they've answered your questions. There's no need to really expand to that. So on that note, okay, somebody is asking, I think this will be the last question. Blessing is asking, how long will it take for somebody to let me click on that question. He said, how long will it take for somebody to find a niche in volunteering? How long? Emmanuel, do you have answers to that? I know you do. Then need to ask, do you have how? Emmanuel, do you have answers to that? How long will it take for somebody to build, a niche in volunteering?
Okay, let me respond by giving this live scenario that happened to a past president of my club. She served as a president, and while she was serving as a president, she didn't have any member that could fill in as a treasurer. So she had to do a financial report for a year herself, a mid-year report, full year financial report. So while serving as a president, a Rotarian reached out to her and said, "Okay, I need an account officer, someone that can just help me prepare accounts for my business, just little things." And she was just like, "Okay." I've been doing financial reports for my club. Let me just give this thing a try. And she took up the role, and she has been working with the man as an account officer for the past 3 years. You know, somebody that had another business, another kind of um, thing she was doing, and now focused into accounts just by preparing a club, by volunteering as a president to also be a treasurer, of the club. So you can develop your skills in whatever given engagement you have at the moment. Another person, someone that helped people to do decoration, while volunteering. And from there, somebody called her, please help me with this decoration. Another person referred. I mean, you could within 3 4 months. It depends. There's no actually time frame to it. It depends on when the opportunity knocks and you being ready. So as a volunteer, you need to also develop yourself because when the opportunity comes, you should be available to open the door. Right. So there's no time frame. It can come at any given time. The question is, are you ready to key into those opportunities as they arise? And are you learning, while volunteering? So it is not just to volunteer, it is about developing yourself as individuals. When you started volunteering to now, has there been any significant change in your life? Has your life been better? Have you better improved yourself in aspects that are relevant to your work, that are relevant to, what your plans, your goals are in life? So it is very, very important as well.
Thank you very much, Manuel. That was a very good one. I don't know, Messi, do you have anything to add to this? Messi?
What I will say is this. Sorry. What I would say is this: grow at your pace and be ready to learn as you grow. You will find your niche. You will find your niche.
Hmm. Did you get that? Grow at your pace and you'll find your niche. Remember she talked about how we can discover, package, and then deploy our skills, professional skills and personal skills. So, this let me quickly add to that. You know, one thing you need to truly discover before I have a course I designed on volunteering, and it's specifically for somebody who a volunteer who wants to actually make a relevant impact, leave a footprint in organization where they work in. It has to do with volunteering. You volunteering and you. And I believe Messi spoke about it. You finding your purpose. I'm not talking about purpose of the company or the organization you are volunteering with. I'm talking about your own personal mandate, your mission, your assignment in life. That will help you truly channel your energy in area you want to, or discover the organization that aligns with your mission, your vision, and work there. That's how you can be able to find a niche. I don't know if you get my point. So I discovered that my own purpose or assignment is to raise leaders, to train and equip leaders. So how do I do that? I have to work with organization that deals with facilitation, training, project management. And I work with, Junior Achievement Nigeria. I also work in Volunteers Connect as well. Work in Revamp Africa, worked in, different places. And what you see me doing here is training, facilitation, mentoring, smile, So that is how you can be able to really also find your niche. I thank so much, everyone. Messi, please, your final words as we take a group picture. You can unmute, you can like turn on your video. Let's so that we can take a group photo before we we call it a day on this panel session. Madam Drama, please, you can also turn on your video so that we can take a group picture. All right, Messi, please, your last word. What is your last advice? Your last advice for us?
My last advice for you is that it's not for everyone that is willing and ready to volunteer. is that yes, you can be everywhere at the beginning, but don't stay long there. Don't be busy doing nothing in volunteering. Don't be busy doing nothing in volunteering. Your time will go and it will waste. That's just my word for you. All.
Wow.
Thank
Wow.
you, Volunteers Connect, for having
That
me.
is thoughtful. That is thoughtful. Okay, Manuel. Messi, still hold on, please. Manuel, your last word, your last advice.
All right. Thank you so much, Solomon. My last advice is just that every action we make today, every good we do today, every life
Hmm.
we change through our act of volunteerism has a ripple effect. When we do a good to an individual today, to a community, everyone in that community we see a need to do a good to another person in the nearest future, whereby it keeps going on and on, on and on. We can't do everything alone ourselves. It is when we take action to do that good, then another person takes up the action. That is when the world can be better for us. So thank you so much for the opportunity to join us for this wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate. Please, if there's nothing you've taken from this session, hmm, take their last statement. That last advice is is life changing. It's life changing. So thank you so much. Emmanuel, please can you quickly turn your video? Please can you jam us together for them? Use the reaction button, jam us together for them, appreciate them. Yeah, thank you. Please, Emmanuel. Are you in London or in Canada?
Apologies, I can't turn in my video at the moment. I sincerely do apologize. Yeah, I'm
Okay, no
actually
problem.
joining another meeting with my mobile, right? So I'm actually on
Oh, okay.
another meeting at the moment as we speak.
Okay.
So I'm also speaking on
Oh,
that meeting as well. So I'm trying to just shift in between. Thank you.
wow, wow. Thank you so much for this sacrifice. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Messi. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we are wrapping up already. We're wrapping up already. And then again, tomorrow promises to be very interesting, very insightful, practical, driven tomorrow. So don't miss it. Tomorrow is physical and also virtual. So wherever you are in Lagos, don't miss it. It's going to be happening live and they're also virtual too. If maybe in one way or the other, you're unable to make it to the venue, also join the virtual session. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Honestly speaking, looking forward to see you if you're in Lagos. So I want to thank everybody that have been joining. All right. But before that, let's quickly move to the next agenda for this virtual meeting. I believe we are working with time. Yeah, we're working with time and we are wrapping up already. Okay, so on the next agenda for
Have you taken the pic? Have
what do
you
you say?
taken the pictures? Just would like to confirm.
Yes,
Have
I'm
you
taking
taken?
the I'm taking the picture. Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda here is you know, announcements, key takeaways. Yeah. So I before I leave the floor for for the announcement, let me quickly say this that from the keynote speaking down to this panel session, one thing that I myself have taken away, which is something I always try to emphasize when I'm facilitating this kind of volunteers training, is that you truly have to first of all know know why you are existing. Don't just jump into volunteering because others are jumping there. And I believe every one of them have also, one way or the other, spoken to that regard. You know, like why you are existing before jumping into volunteering. Don't jump there because others are doing it. Okay. And anytime you want to volunteer for organization, always do, thorough investigation. Thorough investigation about the organization before you volunteer. And most importantly, build capacity and competence and build character before you venture into volunteering. This should be your guide and be able to make you the footprint in the organization where you are working or where you're volunteering, or where you are serving. All right. And I believe you also taken a very quite number of insight and wisdom from this keynote speaking on address down to the servant leadership, volunteerism, and to the panel session. Quite a number of things, but I believe you were able to take one or two things from there. Okay, so thank you so much for being part of this session. Again, tomorrow, if you've not filled the attendance, please do. It's important to determine whether you are qualified to get certificate for participating in this boot camp. That's number one. Number two, you can make sure that if you're in Lagos, you find your way to American Corner tomorrow, latest by 9:30, so that you can be able to join the physical one, and also see some of our facilitators today there present, connect with them, learn from them. It's going to be practical. Okay, so somebody said I'm having difficulties clicking the link. We'll sort that. All right, we'll sort that. We'll sort that. So we'll monitor it from our NBA, those that joined, and we'll be able to report that. Okay, so thank you so much. And please also make sure you come very early tomorrow. Make sure you also checking out on the group to see if there are more informations for you to get in. On this note, I would like to welcome again our convener, Rama, to give us a final address as we close for today. Thank you. Rama, are you here?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much, Solomon, Purposeful Solomon, for that very wonderful moderation. I've had an amazing time. I don't know about everyone here, but I've had an amazing time together with everyone. It has truly been what I would call General Assembly. And remember, we didn't just do it by ourselves, we did it together with you, with our partners, and of course with you, who is a proud volunteer and a proud ambassador joining us on day one of Volunteers Boot Camp. So I'm still saying the comment section of you're finding it difficult to fill the form. Honestly, I do not know what the issue may be because the form is connecting just fine. And we have people that have filled the form. So, Eminent, I don't know if you can share your screen so that maybe they can scan the code because we can't share this link in the group actually. We just can't. It has to be here and it has to be for those that are present here. So I don't know how we want to go about this. We shortened the link, we've changed it to BIT, but it's still the same. I don't know how else. Eminent, if you can hear me, please see if you can maybe put up a barcode or something so that they can scan before we close for today. Um, the speakers have been very amazing. I want to say thank you to our speakers, right? Our speakers from Hazel, Wendy, the founder. Already mute your mute your mic, Olaide, thank you. To our panel speakers, Winnie Wagbele, the convener of Nigerian Volunteers Award, Emmanuel, Rotaractor Emmanuel Onosose, a Rotaractor, and Mercy Ame Ehi. I call her Action Mama. She has been a volunteer for a very long time. Like she has a lot of years of experience, and she's the founder of Salty Santi Initiative. And we also have Adeyemi from the Young African Leaders Initiative Lagos Network. I am sure that we've taken some key take-home points, and we have, made some commitments to ourselves because like I said, it's not just about volunteering but also looking for ways by which we can really contribute our quota and also invest in our own personal and professional development. We're looking forward to seeing you day 2. Please, if you can join us, come to American Corner Ikeja. We created a poll in the WhatsApp group. Fill that poll so we know those that are coming, right? Fill the poll so we know those that are coming tomorrow. It's at American Corner, Ikeja, Lagos. And you're supposed to be seated by 9:30. 9:30, we are supposed to be seated. Please come early, no African time. You can see we started at exactly 10 a.m. It's one of the things that volunteers need to imbibe, right? I know one of our speakers talked about being true to yourself, something like that. Please and please come early so that we can start on time. And if you cannot join us physically, of course, you can still join us virtually. We look forward to hosting you um, both ways, physically and virtually. Please, once again, before we round up, fill the form. Fill the form in the comment section. And also, we have put up the barcode here. You can scan it, take a picture of it, and scan and fill the form. We can't share it to the group because once we share it, you know that automatically those that didn't join in we definitely fill in, and we want those that actually joined in to actually fill in. And at this note, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for staying to the end, and please follow us at Volunteers Connect, and we'll definitely follow back. Thank you, everyone. Have a very beautiful rest of today, and see you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you so
Yes,
much,
thank you so
Roma.
much,
Thank you.
Roma. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Please, again,
Please, again,
follow us on our social media pages. Please, before you leave, let's take a group picture. If wherever you are, and you can turn on your video, you can. Let's take a group picture before we leave. And to do that, please, for those having issue scanning, just screenshot it. Just screenshot the